started going to games in Detroit, because I just thought it was awesome just seeing a real ball player, you know. I went to Tiger Stadium a couple times when I was a kid, and the Tigers just sort of became my second favorite team. Because the experience there was so great. So, Cleveland was nice. My next road trip's going to be Baltimore, Boston, maybe Philly. If I can get like 3 good cities in there, I tell everybody Pittsburgh is the absolute best. Pittsburgh, just to sit inside that ballpark is. I've only been on the West Coast once, and I was saying, I saw their stadium, but I didn't see it. Oh, the view, the bridges, the river, it's just fantastic. Man, I would love to have season tickets to just sit in that park every day. 256.
Ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, welcome to Coach Stadium for season number 20 of Barrie Baycats Baseball. Today's Intercounty Baseball League quarterfinal playoff game features the visiting Welland Jackfish and your 2019 Ibl champion, Barrie Baycats. And just a reminder, this is a best-of-3 series with Barrie leading 1-0. Here are the starting lineups. First for the Welland Jackfish, managed by Brian Essery. Leading off at first base, number 24, Griffin Keller. Batting second, the left fielder, number 13, Brandon Nicholson. Batting third at third base, number 23, Dane Popland. Batting fourth, the right fielder, number 6, Dennis Debanning. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 39, Matt Hildebrand. Batting sixth at shortstop, number 15, Mike Wagner. Batting seventh at second base, number 4, Nolan Pettypiece. Batting eighth and catching, number 26, Andrew Mercier. And batting ninth, the center fielder, number 9, Eric Marriott. Pitching for the Jackfish this afternoon, number 24, Jake Polanchek. Our deciding lineups for Barrie Baycats, managed by Josh Matlow. Leading off the center fielder, number 15, Jake Wilson. Batting second at second base, number 7, Royce Endo. Batting third, the right fielder, number 28, Avery Tuck. Batting fourth at first base, number 27, Ryan Rio. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 5, Mike Cicchetto. Batting sixth, the third base, number 13, Marcel Ratcap. Batting seventh, the shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns. Batting eighth and catching, number 44, Tyler Plumpton. And batting ninth, the left fielder, number 14, David Leblanc. Pitching for Baycats this afternoon, number 30, Juan Benitez. Here the umpires for today's game called the balls and strikes. Mr. Chris Walters. At first base, Mr. Ray Brownlee. And at third base, Mr. Mackenzie Wright. Fans, 20 years ago to the day, the world as we knew it changed forever with the terrorist attacks at the World Trade Center in New York City, as well as the downing of Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania, and Flight 77 at the Pentagon in Washington. All told, 2,977 people lost their lives on that horrendous day, including 24 Canadians. Please rise for a moment's silence as we reflect back on September 11th, 2001. Thank you, and please remain standing. Divert your attention to the video board for a brief 9/11 tribute. Fans, please remain standing for the American and Canadian national anthems.
It's Series Clinch Day here at Coates Stadium as we get ready for Game 2 of the first round of the 2021 IBL Playoffs between the Barrie Baycats and the Welland Jackfish. Hello again, everyone. With Patrick Melbourne, I'm Ben Davy, and a very happy Saturday afternoon to you. Yesterday was a day off for both of these clubs following the the playoff series opening victory by the Baycats in Welland. And yes, although this is the first home game of the playoffs for the Baycats, it is a potential series clincher, as this is a best-of-3 series, Patrick. And you know the Baycats would love to deliver a series-clinching victory here at home for these fans and for first-year manager Josh Matlow.
High pressure on both sides. To see the Jackfish coming in today, they did not have the game one that they wanted, made a couple of mistakes, especially late in the game. They'll be looking, especially early in this one, to rebound and have a strong opening. On the other side, the Baycats, they'll be feeling a little bit more comfortable than they would have in game one. But they've been feeling comfortable for a while right now. They've came in with a winning streak off the regular season, then they looked really, really good in game one. Any nerves about the playoffs, it didn't seem apparent. So in game two, looking more comfortable, well, they started from a good place and they're continuing into an even better one.
The Jackfish will send the exact same lineup in the exact same order that faced starter Andrew Grider on Thursday night in Welland. Griffin Keller, the first baseman, will lead it off. Brandon Nicholson in left field bats second. Dane Toftelin, the third baseman, bats third. Cleanup man is Dennis Day Banning. He's in right field. DH is Matt Hildebrandt, the veteran, bats fifth. Mike Wagner, the sixth spot, he's the shortstop. And the bottom third of the order for the Jackfish, Nolan Pettipiece at second base, Andrew Mercier, the catcher, and Eric Marriott, the center fielder, to face 29-year-old starter Juan Benitez.
And we've seen Benitez throughout this season. He established himself as the Barrie Baycats ace pretty early on. It's a hot day. It's a mid-day game at 4 o'clock, so it might start a little bit, I don't want to say not his best stuff, but he gets better as the game goes on. It gets a little bit cooler, so we'll see if he can go at full steam today, get all his pitches moving early on. That'll be his big key, overcoming the heat that slowed down his pitches just a little bit this year. 5-2 with a 3.04 ERA across 10 games this year. 62 innings pitched. He has struck out 46. That's good. He's walked only 21. That's really good. 61 hits, so less than a hit per inning, Ben.
The right-hander from Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic, stands 6'6", 210 pounds, as Griffin Keller steps into the box. Home plate umpire tonight is Chris Walters, Ray Brownlee at first base, and Mackenzie Wright behind the bag at third. Benitez takes a deep breath, adjusts the cap, looks in for the first sign as Keller waggles the bat, and here's the first offering of today's ball game. It's a called strike. We're underway at exactly 4:15 p.m. on a beautiful, warm Saturday afternoon here at the ballpark in Midhurst. 24 degrees. The Humidex feeling like 26, and it's a called strike 0-2. Just a few clouds, some partial cloud cover, but overall a really sunny day. And we do have a gusty wind coming in from left center. We'll keep an eye on that, but last check it was 24 kilometers per hour, but gusts of up to over 40
Yeah, they've been shifting in between center and right center, so it's kept it nice and cool.
It is coming in, though, as is typical the case here in Barrie, so that may help the pitchers. We'll see if that plays out as the game unfolds. The count 2-2 here to leadoff man Griffin Keller.
Set off the open. When it gets cooler, it benefits Benitez's pitches, but he's really good from the start, too, in most of his starts. He just needs to make sure it stays really sharp. His first few pitches have been sharp. You'll see 4 pitches from Juan: a fastball, slider, curve, and a splitter. You go to the fastball more later in the game than earlier.
3-2, hit on the ground, and it's gobbled up by second baseman Roy Sandro. The throw, the first is in time for the out, and there's one away. Let's look at the defense this afternoon for the Welland Jackfish.
Defense for
Barrie, excuse me.
Yeah, we're going to go Baycats first because they're the ones in the field.
Right, thank you.
You're welcome. David Leblanc in left, Jake Wilson in center, Avery Tuck in right, best arm in right, best legs in center. David Leblanc also a really good outfielder, though. In the infield, left, right, you've got Lacasse at third, Burns at shortstop. Second baseman is Roy Sando, first baseman's Ryan Rio. Tyler Plumpton is doing the catching for Juan Benitez.
High pop-up on the outfield grass. Burns backpedaling. He'll be called off by the center fielder, and sliding in is Wilson just in the nick of time. Late call from the center fielder, but he got there, and he makes the out.
Talked about those legs just a second ago from Jake Wilson. He's really, really fast out there. It's a fast outfield. Avery Tuck's got some speed. David LeBlanc's got some speed in left, but it really is all about Jake Wilson sometimes. He makes some really, really terrific plays out there, and center has a ton of range.
You could hear the audible gasp in this crowd, which is still murmuring and rippling kind of through as everybody was sort of holding their breath when Burns bailed, not because he couldn't see it, but because Wilson called him off at the last second. Made a nice sliding grab, but that one way more adventurous than it needed to be.
Benitez has experience pitching in different climates. He pitched in Japan for a little bit, pitched in the Dominican Republic as well. So I say his pitches get sharper as he goes on. That some of it's heat, but some of it's him getting comfortable because he's comfortable pitching in the heat as well.
He does get better in the middle innings, it seems. A couple of times this season, he has had to leave the game earlier than planned with some lower back tightness, but it hasn't been a problem lately.
And that's why inning number 1 is so important for him. And if it's a game like it's going so far where there's 2 quick outs, it really benefits him and puts him on the right foot the rest of the way.
Benitez last worked a week ago here at home against Kitchener, went 7 innings in that start. 2 runs, both earned on 8 hits. Had 7 strikeouts and 3 walks, earning his team-leading 5th win of the season. That one catches the edge, and it's 3-1 to Dane Toftalen.
Yeah, Toftalen might be their best hitter, Ben. .417 average, 500 on base average, .692 slugging, 8 homers, 15 walks. He can do pretty much everything up there.
Toftalen reached base 3 times on Thursday night and scored 2 runs in the Baycats' Game 1 victory in Welland, and he draws a walk here as the Jackfish get their first base runner of the afternoon.
It's rare you see a guy who has that much power and that much plate discipline, and teams rightfully value that so much. That's why he's up in the 3 spot. And Welland's got a good 3-4-5. Good leadoff hitter as well. It's a tough lineup to face. But Toftalen, DeBanning, and Hildebrand, those are the guys to watch in the middle of the order.
Dave Banning reached base all 4 times on Thursday, including a pair of singles, 2 walks as well. Off starter Andrew Greider, and he's ahead in the count here, 1-0.
He's a guy that's moved up in the batting order for Welland lately, and it's not hard to see why.
Good arm in the outfield as well.
Another guy with a good approach, 373 on base average. A couple of homers too, so much like Toftalen, he's a guy you'd put right in the middle of the order. You could put him at the top too.
Benitez from the stretch, 2 balls, no strikes, 2 out. Runner goes. Here's the pitch, and that one is fouled out of play. And the count 2 balls, 1 strike to Dennis DeBanning.
You look at Toftelen's offensive numbers, and he's not a guy you'd expect to steal an awful lot, but he's also got the speed. So we talked about the eye, we talked about the power. He's also got 19 stolen bases in 30 games.
Toftalen, the runner at first, 2 out here, top of the first inning. Jackfish looking to strike. Here's the pitch, a swing and a miss. And the count is even at 2-2.
Great change from Benitez. I tell you, the last couple of times we've seen him, he has not had this sharp stuff in the first inning. He has it tonight. Good hard fastballs and then that changeup. Great different look. If he can mix those pitches effectively, he'll have a good night.
2-2. Fouled off right side, and the count will hold. Baycats won Benitez's last appearance, a 3-2 victory a week ago here against the Kitchener Panthers.
Yeah, and he's averaging just over about 6 innings a game. They'll want to get 7 from him tonight, ideally.
Runner goes. Pitches inside, throw down, the tag. He's in there with a stolen base. Toftalen in scoring position now with 2 away.
A lot less surprising. That's where the speed comes in from Dane Toftalen. If this was the regular season, that would be stolen base number 20. Went in there with confidence, and they knew it was coming. It was the second attempt of the at-bat, but they couldn't do anything to stop it.
This team has seen Juan Benitez. They faced him on August 2nd. It was an 8-2 Welland win here in Barrie. Benitez went 5 2/3 that inning in the loss. 3 runs, 2 earned that afternoon. He struck out 6 and walked 3. And the Baycats have seen the Welland starter, who we'll tell you about in the bottom half of the inning. A swing and a miss. Strike 3, and down go the Jackfish in the top of the first inning. So they strand the walk to Dane Toftalen at second. We go to the bottom of the first inning, a scoreless tie here at Coates Stadium.
For Welland in first, no runs and no hits, there were no errors, 1 runner left on base. teammates will receive $2 upon return of the ball.
Bottom of the first inning we go here at Coast Stadium as the Barrie Baycats will get their second look of the season against starter Jake Polanchek. We'll tell you about him in a moment. Let's look at the starting lineup for the Baycats. Jake Wilson, the center fielder, will lead it off in center field. Roy Sando, the second baseman, bats second. Avery Tuck, the number 3 spot in right field. Ryan Rio, the first baseman, is the cleanup man. Mike Cicchetto bats fifth at DH. Marcel Lacasse, the third baseman, bats sixth. Bottom third of the order, Carson Burns, Tyler Plumpton, and David Leblanc. 23-year-old Jake Polanchek, his first offering, and it's ball 1 to Jake Wilson.
Yeah, second time in September they've seen Polanchek, third time this season. 1-1 with 4.20 ERA across 8 games.
And that one hits Wilson in the back of the leg, and he'll toss the bat aside. And the Baycats get their first base runner of the afternoon. Let's take a look at the defense, this time for Welland. Behind starter Jake Polanchek.
This time Welland is indeed in the field.
It does make sense to do the Welland defense when Barrie's at the plate. You're right. So thank you for pointing that out.
Right. Brandon Nicholson's in left. In center field is Eric Marriott, good defender in center. Dennis Day Banning in right field. Going into the infield, left to right, Dane Tofflin, really good third baseman. At third, shortstop is Mike Wagner. Second baseman is Nolan Pettipiece, and first baseman is Griffin Keller. Behind the plate, Andrew Mercier for Jake Polanchek.
Wilson definitely a threat to steal. He doesn't go on the first offering, and it's fouled back by Roy Sando.
Yeah, Baycats have 2 big stealing threats at the top and bottom of the order. So Polanchek last time out on September 3rd gave up 3 runs, 4 hits. He struck out 5, he walked 2, went 7 innings. If he can go 7 this time, that'll be a benefit for the Welland Jackfish. That's what they're looking for. He also faced Barrie on August 5th. Went 6 that day, 5 strikeouts, 7 hits, 2 runs. He's another guy like Benitez. He can give you length out there, and he gets a little bit better the longer he goes. So if you can get him uncomfortable early in the game, that's what you want to do, and that's what Barrie likes to do. They like to strike first in that first inning. That's why the first part of the batting order is so intense with Wilson and Tuck.
Foul tip, strike 2. Roy Sando is fitting into this number 2 spot in the Baycat batting order for Josh Matlow quite nicely. He had 3 RBIs on Thursday night against the Jackfish. 3 separate plate appearances, driving in a run.
Yeah, Baycats fans have seen all year how good Jake Wilson is at the top of the order, but now you add Ando and Tuck, who are both red hot in the 2 and 3 spots. Man, it really lengthens out that top of the order.
Wilson bluffed to start there and was able to draw a throw from Polanchek, who we'll keep an eye on him here on this 1-2 count.
Ando's getting more comfortable. He came back from injury. He missed a little bit of time, but now in the 2 spot playing second base, he's found his spot on this team, and it's going really well of late.
Another throw and a head first slide by Wilson.
If you look at the stats over the regular season, that was the period where Ando was getting adjusted to the league. A few players.
Wilson goes. Here's the pitch, and it's fouled in a play into the trees. Count holds at 1-2.
But once they click, it's worked for Avery Tuck, it worked for Jake McDonald, and now it looks like it's working for Roy Sando. Getting used to the league and the team, it's going really well.
Ando steps out. Signs from third base coach Andrew White waggles the bat. Polanchek looks in. A check of the runner. Comes set. Wilson does not go. 1-2 pitch on the ground, up the middle, and a nice diving grab by the shortstop to play to second and over to first, not in time for the out. What a great play by Mike Wagner. Gloving that ball to his left and making a nice little flip up to Nolan Pettipiece for the out at second.
Jackfish, some of the little things didn't go right in game 1 on the base path and defensively, so they're going to be super, super alert in both directions today. Jake Polanchek on the hill. He has 4 pitches you're going to see. You're going to see a fastball, a curve, a slider, and a change. I feel like we saw the fastball a little bit more than the other pitches in the first 2 games against Barrie, but he does mix it around. faced off against Andrew Grider in the most recent game, and then the first game he faced off against Marshall Leishman.
So good job by Wilson as he breaks up the double play. He's forced out 6-4. And a foul off to the left side.
Avery Tuck had that big home run in game 1. That was the eventual decider. A couple of hits overall, a couple RBI. He's been so good in the second half of this season for the Barrie Baycats since joining the team mid-year.
2-run shot broke open a 3-3 tie for Barrie in that playoff series opening 5-3 win for the Baycats. Count 0-2 to him here.
It was him and Ando, so it's no surprise that they're back to back at the top of the order. You don't want to fix what's not broken. And we haven't even really mentioned Ryan Rio on deck, who's been their best hitter all year. So it's a great top of the order for Barrie, and it's something that they've really focused on getting the best out of.
Time is now called, and Polanchek had started his delivery. He goes ahead and follows through on the pitch anyways, but count will hold it, no balls and 2 strikes. As a pitcher, sometimes that's the smart thing to do. Just unload the ball. Don't try to stop short and perhaps, risk an injury.
Yeah, you don't want to mess with your rhythm.
No balls, 2 strikes, another throw over. And this time Ando is back at first. Jake Polanchek keeping a close eye on these Barrie base runners in the bottom of the first inning. Oh, 2 to Tuck. This is ball 1.
He was taken all the way there.
Only change in the lineup for Josh Matlow from Thursday's lineup is flipping the 7 and 8 hitters. Burns now hitting 7th, Plumpton in the 8th spot. But all 9 hitters returned from Thursday's game in Welland. Runner leads. Polanchek, the leg kick and the 1-2. Swing and a miss. First strikeout for Polanchek, and there's 2 out in the bottom of the first inning.
And that'll raise your confidence on the mound. Red hot hitter at the plate. Delivered with the pitch he needed, but the battle doesn't stop here. Ryan Rio, he led the team in average. He led the team in slugging percentage. He was second in on-base average. So, always a tough task. He likes to jump at early pitches in the at-bat. He'll almost always swing at the first pitch. So if you can get him out early on, that's going to be the key for Polanchek against him.
Holds that bat high and level. Runner goes, pitch inside. It's dropped by Mercier. Ando to second with 2 out.
Great combination there, because not only did you take away what I said and Rio didn't go, it was a pitch too far inside, and you can see that as a lefty early on in the delivery, but also Ando was going. I think Rio knew that, so great execution.
Baycats get a man in scoring position here with 2 away and a 1-0 count to slugger Ryan Rio. The pitch from Polanchek. And that one's hit hard to the right side, but right at first baseman Griffin Keller steps on the bag, and that does it for Barrie in the bottom of the first inning. So Ando stranded at second, and after 1, we're scoreless here at Coates Stadium.
Squares, 1 runner left on base. Inning number 2 is sponsored by Kingdom Bounce, specializing in kid-friendly inflatable structures. Visit them at kingdombounce.com. Kingdom Bounce. Bringing up the second for the Jackfish, the designated hitter number 39, Matt Hildebrand.
Jackfish and Baycats scoreless after an inning here at Coates Stadium with Patrick Melbourne. I'm Ben Davy. Juan Benitez to face Matt Hildebrand. Mike Wagner and Nolan Pettipies here on the top of the second inning. First offering for Benitez is a called strike, and it's 0-1 to Matt Hildebrand.
Mentioned Toftland. Hildebrand's another guy who has been really hot as the regular season came to a close. He finished the season with a .347 average, .418 on base average, 7 home runs, 11 walks. So of that trio, he's right there.
This is game 2 of this best of 3 series. Game 3, if necessary, tomorrow afternoon in Welland. Be a 4:05 first pitch. Baycats would love to clinch it here at home and get on to preparing for round 2. Jackfish will head home after this one. The only thing to be determined is whether or not they'll have a game to return home to. Swing and a miss. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Matt Hildebrand.
His stuff is jumping early on. That's really good news for Juan Benitez.
A little bit of cloud cover now. Removing those shadows from the field, and it's a called strike 3. Hildebrand, can't believe it. Couple of words for Chris Walters, the home plate umpire, as he puts his head down and walks back to the Jackfish dugout.
Yeah, he didn't like a couple of calls in that at-bat, but we'll monitor the strike zone throughout the evening. It is getting cooler, actually, Ben. We're seeing wind come in from different directions. I feel like this one's almost coming in from the opposite direction from where it was an hour or so ago. But as long as it stays cool, you're going to start to see more bite on Benitez's pitches, especially. You'll see more zip on the fastball. The off-speed will just get a little bit more deceptive. The humidity's already gone down. That'll help him.
1 ball, 1 strike to Mike Wagner. This is a different umpiring crew from the Thursday night game in Welland. And both teams were a little bit frustrated at the balls and strikes at times in that game as well. That's always to be expected in a playoff game, as this one's gloved by Ryan Rio. Steps on the bag and easy out there. 2 quick outs for Juan Benitez. The intensity level up a notch, definitely in the postseason, and every ball and strike gets scrutinized.
Yeah. I also want to be very clear, if you're new to watching the Barrie Baycats or haven't watched much of them this season, much of what I'm saying about Benitez's weather factors, it's put in context within the first couple innings of the last few games. Obviously, he could pitch in any weather capability and be absolutely fine. There's a reason he has a top 3 ERA in the entire IBL this season. He's got so much talent. It's just about maximizing every single inning.
0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Plumpton blocking that and tosses it back. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, if this wind continues to be a factor, it will definitely help the pitchers here this afternoon, the way it's blowing in. We saw that one's in tight on Pettipies. Count is 2-1. We saw one pop up in the top of the first inning off the bat of Brandon Nicholson that looked like Carson Burns was going to take it, and then Wilson called him off, had to make a diving grab. Wondering if the wind was a little bit of a factor there, as Wilson perhaps thought that would be an easier play for him than it was.
Yeah, you and I both have kind of hands on our little note sheets to make sure they don't fly away, because they'd be on the other side of the stadium if we didn't. A lot of wind.
Well, I got a hand on my notes, a hand on my scorebook, and I need a third hand for my cup of coffee right now because it's down to the bottom third.
Yeah.
So that thing tips, we're in big trouble. Or at least my pants are in big trouble. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I'm going to just sit a little bit further away now that there's a threat of spilled coffee.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
They've done a really nice job getting Coates Stadium set up for the postseason. They've got the painted grass behind the batter's box.
Fouled over our heads.
It says postseason in bright blue and white letters with the 21 in bright white and red. And nice big crowd here.
Very good crowd for this 4 o'clock game. Beautiful late summer afternoon. Foul back and the count holds 2-2. I'll get this coffee refilled in the 5th inning, and that's when you'll take over at the play-by-play mic for a couple of innings. Looking forward to your call on innings 5 and 6 this afternoon. Juan Benitez with the 2-2 pitch. Here it is. And that one just misses, and the count is full.
It's not a big strike zone you're getting tonight. I know Hildebrand did not like the call during his at-bat, but It's been a small strike zone for the most part.
Payoff pitch fouled off, and this is turning into a lengthy at-bat by Nolan Pettipies against right-hander Juan Benitez.
6, 7, 8 is going to be super important for Benitez. That's Wagner, Pettipies, and Mercier, because they're all pretty good hitters. Mercier had a nice night a couple of nights ago, but they're not as good as the top of the order at the plate. Mercier is a really good defensive catcher, and they've got a good defensive shortstop.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Benitez with a little leap as he comes off the hill, ending the second inning with a strikeout on the Jackfish second baseman. So 3 up, 3 down for the Welland Jackfish. We go to the bottom of the second inning with the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats scoreless.
As you approach and enter the stadium tonight, you will notice several COVID protocols in place as mandated by the Ministry of Health. While in your seat, a mask will not be required, but should you wish to visit the concession stand, the beer gardens, the merchandise tent, the washrooms, and upon leaving the
Trouble seeing the scoreboard or scorecard? Time to see Dr. Shell and his amazing team for all your eye care and eyewear needs. 225 Ferndale Drive. Go Baycats, go!
Test 1, 2. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Daniels here, your in-game host. How are we feeling today, Bear? I don't think that's good enough. This is game 2 of the IBL Playoffs for your Barrie Baycats. Baycats fans, let me hear you. All right. I think they heard us all the way in Welland. So today, folks, we will be having quite a few giveaways, oil changes, free oil changes to give away because everyone's starting to head back to the office now. You might need that for your vehicle. Also, we have free Baycats swag. We'll have trivia and a whole lot more. One more time, let's hear for your Baycats. Talk to you soon.
Bottom of the second inning at Coates Stadium. It's brought to you by Kingdom Bounce, specializing in kid-friendly inflatable structures. Visit them at kingdombounce.com. Patrick Melbourne, I'm Ben Baby. It's scoreless. Game 2 of this best-of-3 playoff matchup between the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats, with Barrie on top 1-0, having taken the season opener or series opener on Thursday night in Welland. Mike Cicchetto, Marcel Lacasse, Carson Burns all due up for the first time against Welland right-hander Jake Polanchek.
Cicchetto's been turning on the heat just a little bit as the season wrapped up and he's gotten into the playoffs.
Paperweights on everything now in the broadcast area as the wind has really picked up in from left center field.
Yeah, your papers almost went flying. The coffee almost went flying.
Yeah,
it was almost really bad.
They're going to have to put plexiglass around us if this trend continues. 2 balls and a strike to Cicchetto.
Yeah, you've got both hands down on both corners of the scorebook right there.
Well, I've got 2 feet and a couple of elbows still to go, but righty-righty matchup here. 2-1 the count. Polanchek with the leg kick, and the pitch is outside. 3 balls, 1 strike to Mike Cicchetto. Ball 4, and the Baycats get a base runner aboard for the second time here this afternoon. Marcel Lacasse will come to the plate. 1 on and nobody out here in the bottom of the second inning.
The third baseman, number 13, Marcel Lacasse.
Baycats would love Marcel Lacasse to get hot in this postseason run. He looked so good at the start of the season, and toward the end ran into a bit of a cold streak, but now all the stats are more fresh. You can give yourself a bit of a mental restart, and there it is.
Drives that one to the left field, and that will drop in front of Brandon Nicholson for a base hit. 2 on, nobody out for shortstop Carson Burns.
Oh, that'll be a weight off Marcel Lacasse's shoulders, especially first at-bat of the evening. You'll be feeling better about that.
The shortstop, number 3, Carson Burns.
the left-hander. As the sun now starts to come back out.
Yeah, this is more what we saw about an hour before first pitch.
Swing and a miss. The first offering from Polanchek, strike one.
Carson Burns, if you haven't watched all of the Baycats games this year, came into the season and was splitting some time at shortstop as the Baycats were figuring out what they wanted their defensive alignment to be, but he won the job real quick and has been really good defensively all year, and now offensively has found it as well. Over the last couple of weeks of the regular season, looked really good at the plate.
Steven Zolders coaching the Baycats at first base, and Andrew White behind the bag at third. Two base runners on here. We'll be watching him should Burns put the ball in play. Chichetto at second and Lacasse at first with nobody out here in the bottom of inning number 2. Check of the runners. And Polanchek with the delivery. This one hit, gloved by the first baseman, Griffin Keller. Tags the bag, and that's a double play for the Jackfish.
Just bad luck for Marcel Lacasse off first there. Nothing you could do about that. Perfect spot for the Welland defense.
What a time for a double play with 2 on and nobody out. That ball hit right at Keller.
Yeah.
Nothing Burns could do. You're not ready for that, and there's no way to get ready for it.
And we talk about how pitchers can look at plays and have the confidence go up or down just a little bit. That'll bring up the confidence a lot, because now you can take a deep breath and realize one pitch could end the inning.
And the great thing about Keller's positioning on that play, he was even with the bag, so
Yep.
It was perfect for him going to his left as soon as that ball landed in his glove. An easy swipe for the double play.
He's a good player. You don't often see first baseman at the top of the order, but not only is he a good defender over there at first base, he's a great hitter. So they really like Griffin Keller, I think, and for good reason.
If he was a little more off the bag like he is now, that would have been a much closer play, but Burns had absolutely no time to, or Lacasse had no time to get back there in that situation. So runner at second now, but 2 away. This is Tyler Plumpton, the catcher. It's this one over to the right side, and it is going to be a foul ball. And the count is 1-1 to Plumpton.
Plumpton, a couple of hits in game 1, a run as well. And if he's seeing the ball well, it lengthens the lineup a lot, because there are days when he's on offensively and he's looked good during those days, and there are days where he is not seeing the ball as well, but any day he's in the lineup, he is a great guy to have behind the plate for his pitchers. And you don't need often a really good defensive catcher to be a great hitter, but Plumpton is a good hitter more than he's not.
Outside corner, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tyler Plumpton.
All the Baycats and really any baseball team ask of good defensive catchers like Tyler Plumpton is to give strong at-bats and go and extend the pitch count for the pitchers. And if Plumpton gets on base a couple of times, that's a bonus.
Polanchek comes set. A glance over at the base runner, and here's the pitch. In the dirt, blocked. They appeal at first, and Ray Brownlee says no, he did not go. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes to Plumpton.
Plumpton's also aware that David Leblanc is on deck, so really good hitter on deck, guy in scoring position. Just keep the at-bat alive as long as possible and hope he misses with command or finds a spot that you're comfortable with at the plate.
Here's the 2-2. Strike 3. Plumpton drops the bat as he heads back to the dugout, and the Jackfish are able to hold the Baycats off the scoreboard. So after getting 2 on, a double play and a strikeout ends the bottom of the second inning. And we go to the top of the third. Jackfish and the Baycats scoreless here at Coates Stadium.
Hey fans, checking in from the Vintage Throne Barber Lounge table at the front of Coates Stadium today, and they are special guests in the ballpark and have been fabulous sponsors of the Baycats this season. Feel free to stop on by this afternoon and make a donation for Send a Kid to Barrie Baycats Camp. Donations start at $1, and in return you'll receive an espresso and lemonade right here at the front of the stadium at Coates Stadium. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. The gentleman going through the stands selling 50-50 tickets. There's 3 for $2 or 9 for $5. It's going to take place in the 7th inning.
Third inning here at Coates Stadium, and it's a scoreless tie between the Baycats and the Jackfish. Game 2 of this first round IBL playoff series between Welland and Barrie. Juan Benitez had a 3-up, 3-down second against Welland. He'll face the number 8 hitter Andrew Mercier here to lead it off. And the pitch is high and away to 1-1. Fouled off, left side. A couple of kids nearby will give chase to that one, and it's 1-1 strike. Swing and a miss. Count 1-2. 40th pitch of the game for Benitez. He has 22 strikes, 18 balls. On the ground, right side, and it's out of play 1-2.
Mentioned it off the top, Juan Benitez, third in the league this regular season in ERA, behind only the 2 London aces.
No runs, no hits for the Jackfish. No runs, 1 hit for Barrie here in the third inning. Benitez with a full wind, the 2-2. Ground ball, second base. Ando, soft toss to first in time, and an easy first out here in the third. Here comes center fielder Eric Marriott.
Both the Baycats and the Jackfish are lengthening their batting orders tonight by bringing 9 hitters who could easily be leadoff hitters and using almost a reverse leadoff strategy. The Baycats with David Leblanc, Eric Marriott for Welland. They're 2 guys that when you face them at the bottom of the order, normally with the bottom you say, okay, I can rest a little bit on the mound and pitch a little bit less carefully. They're not quite as good, but no, both Marriott and Leblanc in the 9 spot, essentially just another leadoff hitter. It's a really good strategy in my opinion.
Well, one of my favorite managers, Tony La Russa, was known for putting his pitcher in the number 8 spot. He would put a kind of a number 2 leadoff guy in the 9 spot,
exactly.
Like you said, and the reason for that was because he could bat Albert Pujols third and still potentially have the bases loaded when he came up to the plate.
Yeah, it's a strategy that some managers like, some managers don't like so much, and it doesn't really have an old school or a new school connection to it. It's just a personal opinion thing. It works with both styles, I would say.
Traditional thinking is you put your big RBI guy in the number 4 cleanup spot, but by putting him in the number 3 position, you can maybe get him sometimes an extra plate appearance. And if you've got a kind of an alternate leadoff guy in the number 9 spot, that can work well. A little bit of a cross up there between Benitez and Plumpton, but it's Plumpton taking it for the out, making the play over at first. Great throw by the Baycat catcher.
And you're right, having your best hitters hit in the first inning is gonna, and hit more often throughout the game, is something a lot of managers like. That's why the number 3 spot, now increasingly as well, the number 2 spot are becoming important parts of your batting order. Ideally, I think the thinking now is big on base average guy at the top in the leadoff spot, another one in the 9 spot, and then your 2 best players overall in the 2 and 3.
It's amazing how managers are constantly adjusting to the changing trends
and
in baseball, not only at the major league level, but even here at the IBL.
You'll never find 2 that disagree or that agree on everything either. There will always be disagreements. Even in this batting order, Brandon Nicholson and Royce Ando are 2 very different kinds of number 2 hitters.
Griffin Keller is 0 for 1 this afternoon. Grounded out to second to open the ball game. 1-1 from Benitez, misses, and it's 2 balls and a strike.
Keller's got some power. He's got sneaky pop, but he also really has a great eye. He's another guy just like Tofflin.
Fouled off to the Barrie dugout. Over by Brad Grieveson. Jumps out of the way of that one, and the count is 2-2.
If I had to pick, I would say Keller and Tofflin are the 2 scariest guys to face because they have just about every tool you could ask for. They get on base a lot. They have a lot of power, speed.
To second, Ando backhands it, makes the throw over to first, and it's in time for the out. 3 up, 3 down, go the Jackfish. And we go to the bottom of inning number 3. Scoreless tie between Welland and Barrie.
No runners left on base. Updating the IBL playoffs, fans. The London Majors received a first round bye. The Toronto Maple Leafs defeated the Hamilton Cardinals 2-0 in their series, moving on to the semifinals. And in the other series, the Brantford Red Sox lead the Kitchener Panthers 1-0, with game number 2 going tonight in Brantford.
Trying to find replacement springs for your classic car can be like finding a needle in a haystack. That's where Complete Spring can help. Complete Spring Service specializes in vehicle suspension and spring service for all makes and models. Visit Complete Spring right off the Dunlop exit on the 400 in Barrie.
Bottom of the third, Baycats and Jackfish scoreless here at Coates Stadium. It's game 2 on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Barrie.
Leading up the third for the Baycats.
Baycats looking for a series clinching victory today if they can pull it off, and it would be a 2-game upset over the Jackfish. Jackfish with the home field advantage, game 3 if necessary tomorrow afternoon. They have to win it here today, though. Grounded to second. It's bobbled by Pettipiece over to first, not in time. Good recovery, but that initial bobble ended up costing him.
That'll frustrate Jake Polanchek on the man, because David Leblanc, he's seen him on the base paths before, especially in that first game when the Jackfish and the Baycats faced off against each other in Welland. LeBlanc just super aggressive on the base paths, and he really hasn't slowed down since then. So Polanchek very familiar with that, and he'll be a little bit frustrated, maybe more than usual, that it's LeBlanc at first when he didn't have to be.
LeBlanc with the lead. He goes on the first pitch. Showing bunt is Wilson. He pulls it back. The throw down not nearly in time. It's a stolen base for David LeBlanc. And we were talking earlier about having speed in the number 9 spot. You can see how it's, scripted out well for the Baycats here in this bottom of the third inning with LeBlanc.
Yeah.
That speed, a slower guy may not have beaten out that throw by Pettipiece.
And it's not just the speed with LeBlanc, it's also the aggressiveness and the awareness on the base paths, because he's a really good base runner. Guys with big speed aren't always great base runners. He's got plus speed, but he's got plus base running.
Jake Wilson is willing to lay down a bunt if called upon. It's 1-1 here. He squared the bunt on the first pitch. His job here definitely to get LeBlanc over to third. Still nobody out here in the third inning. Let's see if he squares again or swings away. Outside.
I think he just wanted to put the bunt in Polanchek's mind. He's too good a hitter. Stats too high to consider bunting. There is nobody out, but a guy in scoring position and a lot of RBIs from Jake Wilson this season. Good speed himself. I'm not convinced he's actually thinking bunt.
Both corner infielders on the dirt. Here's the pitch, and this one hits a right field. Back is Dave Banning. He's got it right in front of the track for the out. Tagging up is LeBlanc. He's into third, and the runner advances. 1 out in the third inning. Well, Wilson did exactly what the job was, get the runner over, and he does it via a deep fly ball to right field.
The second baseman, number 7, Royce Ando.
So Ando will bat now with a runner 90 feet away and 1 out in the third inning.
Royce Ando's a really good fit for the number 2 spot, Ben, because not only is he that kind of hitter where he slots in nicely between Wilson and Tuck, and he's hot right now, just like Wilson and Tuck, he's also a right-handed hitter, and the Baycats batting order was getting really left-hand heavy at the top.
Swing and a miss. Well, your number 2 hitter, you want to be a guy who could just put the ball in play, and Ando certainly does that.
3 for 5 with 3 RBI in game 1.
He's not a big strikeout guy. Makes good contact, can keep the inning going for you. Pitch from Polanchek. Swing and a miss. He's behind here 0-2.
Overpowering right in the middle of the strike zone. He's going to go back to that more. It worked there. I suspect it depends how long the at-bat goes, because he might not go back to it on this pitch, but if it keeps going, he's going to go back to it at some point.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Polanchek. Down the line and foul over near the Barrie bullpen.
Problem with going back to that pitch, and I don't think he did there. Problem with going back to the one before that worked is Ando's going to be looking for it, and he's going to be able to adjust to it a lot quicker because he's just seen it. I think he's probably going to still be sitting fastball.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch to Ando. Outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, that was fastball all the way. Just drifted outside. Now it's going to be a lot less predictable.
Ando reached on a fielder's choice in the first. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. That's a foul tip into the glove for strike 3.
That's his put-away pitch. Big fastball right inside the strike zone, daring the hitters to go at it. I was a little bit surprised he went to it, actually, because he'd gone to the fastball a couple of pitches in a row. He went to the big strikeout for strike 2. Then the foul ball was also something a little bit faster. He's got 4 pitches in there. I think the fastball might have been a slider. I'd have to look at it one more time.
2 out in the inning. This 3rd inning humming right along. It's brought to you by Kurt's Coolers, mobile refrigerated freezer trailer rentals. Swing and a miss.
All fastball since then, though.
Avery Tuck struck out swinging in the 1st inning.
Polanchek is daring these hitters. Here's the heat. Swing at it.
Runner at 3rd. That's David LeBlanc. 2 out. Polanchek with the pitch. Inside, and the count is even. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Problem with the heat is that it doesn't move quite as much. So if the hitters are starting to look fastball a little bit too much, they're going to notice when it's not curving inside the plate. So if it's outside, they're not going to swing at it as readily. So you can't use it too much.
1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the pitch. In the dirt.
Those
It's blocked by the catcher, Mercier.
Those last 2 takes, Avery Tuck knew what was coming, and just like the pitcher was daring the hitter to swing at it, now the hitter's going to be daring the pitcher, throw it inside the strike zone. Give me a chance to swing at it.
Center fielder Eric Marriott shifted slightly over to the right side. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 3.
Great job by David LeBlanc at 3rd base to try and distract Polanchek out of the corner of his eye, just dancing down the line. He's not going for home or anything, but he's just reminding him that he's there, and on contact, there's going to be a potential play at the plate. It's another thing for the mind.
Here's the pitch. A little flare, and it's in foul territory. And the count is full now, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Ryan Rio, the first baseman on deck, hopeful for an at-bat here in this bottom of the 3rd inning. Welland and Barrie scoreless. Baycats looking to get on the board first. They got a runner at 3rd, 2 out. Full count. Jake Polanchek ended the 2nd with a strikeout. Let's see if he can do it again here.
It's been a bit since we've seen the off-speed.
Comes set. Here's the pitch. High, ball 4. Tuck tosses the bat aside and takes his free pass down to first base.
Avery Tuck was not fooled for most of that at-bat. He saw the fastball early on. He watched the fastball in the last at-bat to Royce Ando from the on-deck circle, and he just kept looking for it. And the more Polanchek threw it, the less he could throw it inside the strike zone. So really, 3 of those 4 balls were easy takes for Tuck. He was thinking, if it's a fastball, I'm going to make him throw it inside the zone, which he's had trouble with, and if it's an off-speed, then I'm going to sit on that.
Baycats have had base runners all 3 innings this afternoon. 2 aboard here with 2 out in the 3rd. The called strike. Fans thought that one might have been away. It's 0-1 to Rio. Rio 0 for 1 this afternoon.
I feel like he wasn't mixing pitches particularly well, deception-wise, in the Tuck at-bat either, which is maybe why he was going to the fastball a little bit more often. It feels like from the lefty hitter Tuck, he could easily see whether it was a fastball or not right off the hand.
LeBlanc at 3rd, Tuck at 1st. Polanchek with a deep breath, a leg kick, the pitch. And this one hit to second base. It goes off the glove of Pettipiece and into right field. In to score is David LeBlanc. Ball picked up and fired back in, and it's a 1-0 Baycat lead here in the 3rd.
Great awareness by Ryan Rio. After so many fastballs, at some point he's going to have to switch things up, throw something a little bit softer. And both him and Tuck were waiting for the moment, sitting on the off speed and ignoring the fastballs for the most part. Finally got it, laced it into right field.
Tough inning for second baseman Nolan Pettipiece as this inning began with an error on the Welland second baseman. You know he would have loved to had a second chance at that one, but it's ruled a hit. And an RBI single for Ryan Rio to bring in the game's first run. And this one hits Chichetto. He's down to first base, and that'll load him up.
Yeah, the important thing is that missed Mike Chichetto's hand in any of the smaller bones in there, and it looked like it just got somewhere that it didn't hurt him too much. That's good. But you're seeing the meeting on the mound right now. He is not hitting his spots anymore. The off speed's been unpredictable. It's either been right in the middle of the zone or he's been inside a couple of times as well. And then the fastball, you can't just throw the fastball. Otherwise, hitters are going to get wise to it and start laying off, daring you to throw more strikes than he's currently able to. So, right now it's about ending an inning that could have been a quick inning.
The message to Polanchek was a short one.
Number 13, Marcel Lacasse.
And Marcel Lacasse will bat with the bases loaded and 2 out here in the bottom of the third inning.
Hard not to feel like this is a big at-bat for Marcel Lacasse. Try and keep the confidence up. He saw the ball well his first time up, and he's such a good hitter. You know the hot streak's coming. The Baycats would love it to be in the playoffs.
Tuck at third, Rio at second, Chichetto at first. First offering to Lacasse is a called strike.
One constant for Marcel, though, even through the streak where he wasn't hitting as well, is he was still seeing the ball really well. So if Polanchek can't reach the strike zone with these pitches, it's a real possibility that he'll lay off enough to get on board that way.
Fouls that one back, strike 2. An RBI single by Ryan Rio, scoring David Leblanc to give Barrie the 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the third inning. They're looking for more against a very tough Welland ball club.
Lacasse led the Baycats by plenty with 22 walks in 25 games, so you can't miss badly, and often you can't miss close.
0-2 off speed, just missed. Baycats know they would love to get as big a lead as possible against this Welland team.
Polanchek, working best when he gets on top of these hitters early in the at-bat. The longer it goes, sometimes the longer an at-bat goes, the momentum shifts toward the pitcher. In these at-bats, it's shifting toward the batter.
1-2 on the way. Fouled over the screen. Count holds a ball and 2 strikes to Marcel Lacasse.
Lacasse can get it into the outfield for a base hit. You're looking at a good runner at third and okay runners the rest of the way. Chichetto's not super fast, neither is Rio, but they'll be able to advance.
Check swing, the appeal, he did not go. Tag applied anyways, but count is now 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, a bit on the borderline side there. I feel like that one could have gone either way from the angle we've got, but Lacasse catching a bit of a break, and I'm guessing Welland fans' eyes at least. They'll have a chance.
Lacasse, a product of Quebec. 2-2 count here with 2 out. Polanchek comes set. Bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Left side foul. And the count holds at 2-2.
First ever player to be born in Quebec and play for the Barrie Baycats.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a notable distinction.
It was a big signing before this season, and it was not. It did not take long to see why. He's so talented. Again, a bit of a rough end to the regular season, but you know he's going to turn that around really quickly in the playoffs.
2-2 fouled off.
He doesn't necessarily have to be as hot as he was at the start of the season because, quite frankly, that's not super sustainable. He was so good for so long. But just getting to 75% of that is what the Baycats need, and having him be a good middle-of-the-order bat.
Tuck at third, Rio at second, Chichetto at first. Bases loaded. 2-2 the count to Marcel Lacasse. He waggles the bat. Here's the pitch. Checks the swing, and the count is full.
Yeah, that definitely was not a swing. First one was borderline, that one was not.
Mackenzie Wright behind the pitcher's mound. Third base umpire this afternoon. Busy at bat for him.
Positioned more in the shortstop part, which is an interesting place, but he'll be able to see, I guess, what he needs to see there.
Full count, no place to put Marcel Lacasse. 3-2, 2 out. Runners lead. There they go. Here's the pitch. This one rocked to right field. Back near the wall, and it drops, and it rolls all the way to the fence. That'll score at least 2. Tuck is in to score. Rio behind him. And Cicchetto as well. 3 RBIs for Marcel Lacasse. And a double breaks this one open. It's 4-0 Barrie.
He's been waiting for that hit for at least a month, hasn't he? Oh my goodness, that was just perfect off the bat of Marcel Lacasse. Was not fooled one bit by Jake Polanchek's pitch. Exactly how you picture it in the mind when you go up to the plate.
Oh, he barreled up that pitch from Polanchek beautifully, and with the runners in motion, that gave them a really good running start on that 3-2 pitch. All 3 base runners come in to score.
Polanchek is missing both ways right now. He's missing in the zone with his pitches, and he's missing far outside the zone.
Carson Burns now will be the 8th batter to the plate here in the 3rd for the Baycats.
The fact that it's a small strike zone, and it has been all day, not benefiting him at all.
And how crucial were those 2 check swings now when you look back on the sequence in that at bat for Lacasse?
Yeah, the first one was, it could have gone either way. You can't give.
Fouled out of play, count 1-1. Being able to force that count to 3-2 to get the pitch he was looking for.
The fact he held up on the second one was the important one, because that was not a swing, and he kept his at-bat alive. Such a good eye from Marcel. He's such a good player.
Couldn't have been a more timely double for Marcel Lacasse here in this 3rd inning. Here's the pitch, and this one is fouled off. And the count is 1-2. Tyler Plumpton on deck. He's got the lower half of the catcher's gear on. He would be the number 9 hitter in this inning.
He can get that off in record speed and get right up to the plate, and you know he wants to.
We've seen it before.
Yeah, we have. Something happens, pads go right off.
And this one hits a right field, and it will drop in front of Dennis DeBenning. Rounding 3rd is Lacasse. It's a 5-0 Baycat lead. RBI single by Carson Burns to keep the 3rd inning going for Barrie. What an inning for the Baycats. 3 RBIs on the double by Lacasse. Burns following that up with an RBI single of his own. And indeed, Plumpton has to take the shin guards off. He'll be the 9th hitter of the inning for Barrie. Corner infielders in for a quick chat with the Welland hurler, Jake Polanchek. Plumpton struck out looking to end the 2nd inning.
His strategy has to be to keep the bat on the shoulder for the most part.
Runner goes, here's the throw down, and not in time, it's a stolen base. Carson Burns running on the first pitch.
Burns is one of those guys in the Baycats where his speed's a little bit sneakier. He doesn't go on the base paths quite as much as some of the other players. Like, you'd expect Wilson to go in situations like that. You expect Leblanc and maybe Avery Tuck. Burns, maybe not so much, and that's a benefit to him right there.
Plumpton fouls that one off. Strike 2. 5 runs for the Baycats here in the 3rd inning. They're looking for more. A potential series clinching game for the Baycats here in front of their home crowd on this Saturday afternoon in September. First series of the 2021 postseason. The Intercounty Baseball League. And now time is called.
Burns had 6 stolen bases during the regular season.
Jake Polanchek from the belt. Trying to finish off the Baycats here in the 3rd. 0-2, the pitch. They appeal, and he went, says the first base umpire, and Plumpton is down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. But not before the Baycats explode for a 5-run 3rd inning. We go to the top of the fourth here at Coates Stadium. It's the Baycats 5, the Jackfish nothing.
For Barrie the third, 5 runs on 3 hits, with 1 well in error, 1 runner left on base.
Hey Baycat fans, it's Rob Daniels checking in once again behind home plate. And before I let you know what giveaway I have right about now, I wanted to introduce you to my daughter. It's her first time at Coates Stadium. Can I get a welcome from Madison? Yeah, she's bringing the team luck so far. It's her first time to Coates Stadium, a nice 5-0 lead here in the 4th inning. I wanted to let you know that you can take some Baycat Stadium photos here tonight. And you put them up on Instagram stories, okay? So once you upload them, it's your photos of your favorite baseball players here, perhaps stadium shots, the food that you're enjoying, and more. And when you do upload to Instagram stories, tag us at Barrie Baycats. Use the hashtag Baycats for your chance to win Baycat swag. We got some t-shirts to give away, oil changes, and more. So get on social media, upload on Instagram stories at Barrie Baycats, hashtag Baycats, with your Instagram story. That'll automatically enter you to win some giveaways here at the ballpark this afternoon. In the meantime, though, I do have an oil change to give away to the loudest fan in the ballpark. Can I hear you guys make some noise? Loudest person in the ballpark, where are you at? All right, I think that family up there deserves one. Congratulations, and that's oil changes all this afternoon thanks to Seiko Solutions, from service auto repair from headlight to tailpipe.
Inning number 4 is sponsored by the Cage Barrie, Barrie's only indoor public batting cages. The Cage Barrie.
4th inning here at Coates Stadium in Midhurst. It's a 5-0 Baycat lead. I'm Ben Davy along with Patrick Melbourne. Want to wish happy birthday to Eddie, who turns 6 tomorrow. Came up to the broadcast booth here to say hello. So Eddie, we hope your day is a fantastic one. Have a great weekend. Nice having a birthday on a weekend. You can really stretch it out. And we hope for a Baycat celebration for you here this afternoon.
That's when you ask for presents on both days. Birthday weekend. It's not just a day.
1 ball, 1 strike for Brandon Nicholson. Left fielder is 0 for 1 today. Our 4th inning is brought to you by The Cage, Barrie's only indoor public batting cage. Jackfish with some work to do against Juan Benitez. Trailing by 5 here in the 4th inning. Welland with just 1 base runner so far today. That was a walk by Dane Toftelin in the 1st. This one bounced to short. Should be an easy play for Burns, and it is. 1 out here on the top of the 4th inning. If you're just joining us, a clutch 2-out, 3 RBI double by Marcel Lacasse broke this one open for the Baycats. Carson Burns followed that up with an RBI single. That's 5-0 Barrie here in the 4th.
And Juan Benitez has looked really, really good. That's part of the recap so far, too, I think.
A called strike to Dane Toftelin. Benitez 1 over the minimum so far.
Remember last half inning how I mentioned Jake Polanchek was struggling with differentiating his pitches off the motion, where his fastballs were a lot more obvious? Benitez is not having that problem. That last pitch looked slow until it got to the plate.
0-2. Swing and a miss. 4th strikeout of the afternoon for Juan Benitez, and there's 2 away.
The right fielder, number 6, Dennis Day Banning.
Dennis Day Banning struck out swinging to end the 1st. He'll get his 2nd look at Benitez of the afternoon here.
That last strikeout was to Dane Toftelin, and if you're making Dane Toftelin look that behind at the plate, you're doing something right.
And this one's hitting the right field, and the Jackfish get their first hit of the afternoon. So Day Banning 1 for 2, and it keeps the inning alive for DH Matt Hildebrand.
The designated hitter, number 35, Matt Hildebrand.
Hildebrandt, one of 4 strikeout victims for Welland this afternoon against right-hander Juan Benitez. He does a little bit of landscaping in the batter's box.
Got to get comfortable.
Where's those big baggy pants? That's about as baggy as they can get. Runner does not go. The first offering is a called strike.
Hildebrandt 7 big flies, but also 11 walks this season.
Jackfish got a 2-out base runner in the first, and Benitez followed that right up with a strikeout to get the Baycats off the field. Let's see if that little tidbit repeats itself here with an 0-2 count to Hildebrandt. 2 out in the inning. Debanning the lead at first, and a foul off by Hildebrandt. Count holds at 0-2. Sun is back out for the moment here at Coates Stadium. Swing and a miss! And that's exactly what happens. Down goes Hildebrandt with a runner on and 2 out. And that gets Barrie off the field in the 4th. We go to the bottom of inning number 4 with Barrie up 5-0. You're watching Baycats TV.
We have some fans with us celebrating birthdays today. Happy birthday to Eddie Haley. Number 6 for Eddie. Happy birthday, Eddie, from the Barrie Baycats. And just a reminder, we have a gentleman going through the stands selling 50-50 tickets here. 3 for $2, 9 for $5. The draw takes place in the 7th inning. Going to be a great jackpot tonight. We have a great crowd this afternoon. Don't wait for your tickets.
Bottom of the 4th at Coates Stadium. It's brought to you by the Cage, Barrie's only indoor public batting cage. I want to thank all of our sponsors in this 2021 season, regular season and the playoffs. And they've all helped bring Baycats baseball to you all season long here on Baycats TV. And we want to welcome viewers from Welland as well this afternoon. Nice to have you watching on the Baycats YouTube channel, and other IBL fans around the league as well, of course. First pitch ends up hitting Leblanc in the top of the helmet. Fortunately, not a hard pitch. And he's aboard to lead off the 4th.
That's frustrating on the man for Jake Polanchek, because you go out there after a rough inning and you're trying to reset. And when the first pitch is just one of those pitches that he was having trouble with in the last inning, he was going inside to hitters and not having the command of it. And when that returns early on, it's hard to overcome.
Runner goes, pitches outside. Here's the throw down for Mercier, and it's
yeah, he's in there.
No, it's dropped. The ball got through. I couldn't see a cloud of dust there.
Yeah, he would have been safe either way. David Leblanc, I mean, he's got the most aggressiveness on the base paths of anybody on this Baycats team, and it's not really that close, which is wild since Jake Wilson's on this team.
Second steal for Leblanc this afternoon. And this one hit to left field. It's an easy catch for Brandon Nicholson. Runner stays put, 1 out here in the 4th.
He was challenging the outfield there, David Leblanc. I almost thought he might go for third, and he pretended to, just to keep them alert, make sure they weren't napping. He's a good base runner.
The second baseman, number 7, Royce Endo.
Polanchek hit Jake Wilson with the pitch to lead off the ball game, and he hits Leblanc to lead off the 4th. So that's 2 innings now that the Baycats have had the leadoff man aboard via being hit by a pitch.
Yeah, it really has not been his game for a couple of reasons. He's missing The strike zone did expand just a little bit there, so.
Polanchek
We'll
walked
wonder that.
Mike Chiquetto to lead off the second inning, and then an error by second baseman Nolan Pettipies led off the third. So the Baycats have had the leadoff man aboard all 4 innings so far this afternoon. This one fisted off and fouled out of the reach of Griffin Keller, and the count is no balls and 2 strikes to Royce Ando.
His problems tonight, there have been 3 big ones. He's missing too far outside the strike zone, and when he goes for the pitch inside to hitters, both left and right, he's going too far inside and does not have the command of that. He's also missing inside the strike zone on other pitches. So when he over-relies on his fastball, sometimes he just leaves one right over the middle. And he's done that with the off-speed a couple times too. He needs to stay outside and battle for his pitches a little bit, which is not ideal. In the main case, you want to hammer the strike zone as much as possible and keep variety strong. So that's not working in his favor. But also, it's been mostly a small strike zone tonight. So that's been a problem for his style of play. Like right there, that's a strike with some umpires.
That just missed. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And to credit the umpire, he's been pretty consistent tonight. There have been a couple of pitches that have been a little bit different, but for the most part, it's been a small zone, and both pitchers have adapted, for better or worse, to it. Benitez having a lot more success with it than Polanchek.
Runner goes on the ground. First baseman Keller takes it himself. 2 out. But Leblanc advances 90 feet.
Like, Ben, you almost say it out loud. You almost have to hammer in the strike zone and just trust your stuff. But also, you can't, because sometimes your stuff is a little bit too flat for it on both the off. Like, that's where he's running into problems so far. So it's not one of those with an easy fix. He just has to find his stuff a little bit more and go to the deception on the non-fastball.
Every umpire is going to take a little bit of a different approach when it comes to calling balls and strikes, but all the pitchers ask for, and managers for that matter, is consistency through the game. And that was something that frustrated both the Welland Jackfish and the Barrie Baycats in Game 1. They felt the strike zone was shifting a little bit in the middle innings of the ball game, and we saw on at least one significant occasion both ways.
Yeah.
Teams were getting frustrated by that. The Jackfish thought that they had a called strike 3 on Avery Tuck that before his 2-run homer that ended up being the difference maker in the game.
Well, and I'm not taking any sides here. I'm not saying it did or it didn't, but when an umpire's zone shifts, both hitters and pitchers get frustrated with it because they need reinforcement on what they're doing right. If a pitcher gets a call early in the game, he needs to know he can go back there and battle the hitters in that spot throughout the evening. And when he doesn't get that call later on, it's almost like the rules he's been working with have been thrown out the window. It's more frustrating for pitchers than it is for hitters, which says something, because hitters are dealing with it the same way, right? They go up there and they're hoping that they get mostly the picture-perfect strike zone and can work with that and don't have to think about it. When a hitter starts thinking about the strike zone, he has to think less about the important things.
Tuck waggles the bat. Polanchek, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. And Avery Tuck goes down swinging for the second time this afternoon. So they strand David LeBlanc at third base. And after 4 innings, it's the Baycats 5. The Welland Jackfish nothing. Patrick Melbourne up to call innings 5 and 6 when we return. You're watching Baycats TV.
Inning number 5 is sponsored by SeatGiant.ca, official ticket marketplace of your Barrie Baycats. Get all your major event tickets within North America and Canadian funds. SeatGiant.ca.
Hey Baycats fans, Rob Daniels checking in from the merch tent this afternoon. Oh my goodness, they have such cool Baycats swag here that you need to sport in Game 2 of this IBL playoffs. They've got Throwback Thursday hats, they've got the over jackets. Wear what the Baycats wear by coming by the merch shop, and more details as well anytime you need them at barriebaycats.com.
Inning number 5, sponsored by Seat Giant, the official ticket marketplace of the Barrie Baycats. Get all of your major event tickets within North America in Canadian funds. Patrick Melbourne with you, Ben Davy also along for the ride. It is 5-0 Barrie Baycats over the Welland Jackfish in Game 2 of the quarterfinals, the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs at Coates Stadium. Glad to have you along for the ride with us. It's a great crowd. It's a nice sunny day. You can see maybe at the top that the clouds are getting a little bit darker, but that's more on the humid side of things. Doesn't feel a whole lot like rain, although that's not very scientific of me to say. Strike one to the leadoff man, Mike Wagner. I was noting a little bit with Ben during the inning break, that last pitch from Jake Polanchek to end the bottom of the 4th, strike 2. It was really an improvement over what we've seen. So we'll see if that continues to the next half inning. Pitch inside to Wagner. Wagner grounded out last time up. And he hits that one to right center. Moving over the center fielder Wilson. The right fielder Tuck, though, will make the play for the first out. You can see the range that Jake Wilson has. He moves to left center sometimes, he moves to right center sometimes, just backing up the other fielder. But all 3 outfielders for the Baycats tonight have good speed, so Tuck was there in plenty of time. Here's Nolan Pettipies, hitting .271 on the season, .403 on base average, .390 slugging percentage.
Batting for the second baseman, Nolan Pettipies, number 2, Robert Mackey.
As actually, we're going to get a late substitution. Pettipies will not bat. Robert Mackey will. So adjust your scorecards if you're scoring at home. Juan Benitez ready after the long hold. Mackey steps in. First pitch from Benitez is grounded foul back to the backstop, left side. Benitez looking extremely comfortable so far, has only given up the 1 hit. Welland still waiting for an opportunity to score. Pitch from Juan, fouled right directly back this time. It'll be Mackey, then Andrew Mercier, and Eric Marriott, bottom of the order for the Jackfish. Jackfish wearing their bright green uniforms with the gray pants. Baycats in their all white. Here's the pitch from Benitez. Got him! And he got him looking. 2 quick outs in the top of the 5th. So Mackey comes in to pinch hit and goes down looking at the pitch. That's one where you wait to get into the game and then you see that at-bat go by and you're thinking about it all night long. So here's Mercier, the catcher. Good defensive catcher. Both teams going with, I don't want to say defense first setups, but definitely defense in mind. And both these guys have a little bit of pop at the plate too, Plumpton and Mercier. 1-0 is also outside, 2-0. Barrie has a 1-0 series lead in the quarterfinals. Pitch from Benitez. Hit to center, not deep. Moving out is Burns, moving in is Wilson. Wilson's going to call everybody off and make the play to retire the side. Juan Benitez, a 1-2-3, gets Wagner, Mackey, and Mercier. And we head to the bottom of the 5th on Baycats TV.
We're well into the 5th. No runs and no hits, no errors, no runners left on base.
Cats fans. Rob Daniels checking in down the right field line. We're going to try and get the wave all around the stadium, okay? We're going to start here and go up. We're going to keep this in the game and keep it. Three guys are going to start the wave, okay? 3. Keep the wave going. Let's go, guys. Wave, wave all around the stadium. Can it make it all the way to third base? Let's go, let's go, let's go, wave. Nicely done, Baycats fans. Keep the good vibes going.
Bit of an odd situation between innings, but Jake Polanchek back on the hill as the umpire, home plate umpire, is speaking with the Baycats coaching staff here. I guess getting substitutions under control.
Defensive change to Jackfish. Robert Mackey remains in the game, playing left field. Brandon Nicholson moves from left field to second base.
So Robert Mackey, who pinch hit for Nolan Pettipiece, moves to left field, stays in the game. Brandon Nicholson, who was in left, goes to second base, which is where Nolan was playing. So as we're just sorting out a few things here, as things are happening behind the scenes. Zarly Cena was the pinch hitter and now staying in the game at left field. So Zarly Cena, not Robert Mackey. Mackey remains available on the Jackfish bench. So glad we could sort that all out before Polanchek takes the mound. He just took his final warm-up pitch. And now pitch is trying to maintain the momentum from the last at-bat in the previous inning he pitched. Ryan Rio will lead things off in the 5th. So to reset in the outfield.
Leading up the 5th for the Baycats, the first baseman number 27, Ryan Rio.
Zarly Cena's in left, in center Eric Marriott, and in right Dennis Day Banning. Left right in the infield now, as that one is skied up the middle of the infield. Moving over and making the catch is the new second baseman. That's Brandon Nicholson. Or was that... Everybody was mixed up there. I think it was the shortstop, actually. Apologies. Mike Wagner, as everybody goes back to position. So spoiler alert on who's playing shortstop. So Toffland at third remains at third. Wagner is at short. The shortstop is, or the second baseman, excuse me, is now Brandon Nicholson. First pitch to Chiquetto's inside. Oh no, just touched the plate, 0-1. Just getting everything sorted here at Coates Stadium. Apologies for any confusion. That pitch was outside, 1-1. Chiquetto really heating up lately. DH for the Baycats, and he, again, that one's popped up left side. Moving over is the shortstop and the third baseman. Shortstop calls him off, and it will be Mike Wagner making the catch, 2 out. So here's Marcel Lacasse with the big double last time up. It scored 3. It scored Roy Sando, it scored Ryan Rio, and it scored Mike Chiquetto. And it's a big reason of why this game is 5-0. First pitch to Lacasse. He swings and hits that one to right. It might be playable, and it is. The right fielder, Dennis Day Banning, makes the play. Quick inning here, and it is a quick 5th in general. We head to the 6th on Baycats TV.
For Barrie in the 5th, no runs and no hits, no errors, and no runners left on base. Inning number 6 is sponsored by the starting lineup, uniforms and apparel, the official jersey of your Barrie Baycats. Your season starts here. Starting lineup, uniform and apparel.
Juan Benitez back on the hill for inning number 6, and he's given the Baycats a really good outing so far. Baycats hoping for at least 7 innings out of him if recent games are any indication. He'll be facing off against Eric Marriott, and then the top of the order in Griffin Keller. 6th inning is sponsored by Starting Lineup Uniforms and Apparel, the official jersey provider of the Barrie Baycats. Your season starts here. First pitch to Marriott is a ball, 1-0.
Right-hander Brett Lawson was up and warming up in the Welland bullpen in that last half inning, but didn't need to really throw very hard, as it was a very efficient 3-up, 3-downer for Jake Polanchek. Exactly what the Jackfish needed from him in the 5th.
1-1. Yeah, Polanchek found something on that strikeout to Avery Tuck in the previous inning before that. Count goes to 1-2. Started 1-0 and now 2 straight strikes. Benitez has had his stuff all night long, trying to continue that against the 9-hitter and center fielder Marriott. Hitting .280, but he's got a good on-base percentage, and he swings at a pitch outside. 1 out.
7th strikeout of the game for Juan Benitez, and he's retired 5 in a row following the single to Dennis DeBanning, Welland's lone hit of the afternoon.
Benitez pitching well in the postseason. That one's hit to right. It's pretty deep too. Tuck going back at the wall. Gone. Griffin Keller, the leadoff man for the Welland Jackfish, with a home run, and now it's 5-1.
That one bounced off the video board in right field. It came right back towards Avery Tuck, who looked up. No chance on that one at all, despite the wind blowing in from right center field. That one had enough to clear the fence, and then some.
Keller had 7 home runs during the regular season, and he delivers there. So Welland on the board now. Keller went 0 for 4 in Game 1, so that'll be a bit of redemption for him. Here's Nicholson, who went 2 for 4 in Game 1. And he swings and hits that one to right field. This one's going to drift out into foul territory, and well foul. Baycats 5, Jackfish 1 here in the top of the 6th inning. There's 1 out. And now a run in thanks to the Griffin Keller homer. Marriott struck out for the first out. 0-1 to Brandon Nicholson's down low, 1-1.
Only 2 base runners for the Jackfish this afternoon, a walk and a single prior to that home run by Keller. And when you're as efficient as Benitez has been tonight, you give up the long ball every once in a while, and it's not going to break your back, and that's been the case here with Barrie still comfortably up 5-1 in this ball game.
Last pitch was down and away, 2-1. Here's the pitch from Benitez. That one's popped up, and it's going to go out of play. Count even, 2-2. Benitez kicks and throws, and it's in the dirt, so he's going to have to reset now, 3-2. A big double from Marcel Lacasse is why the Baycats are up 5-1. Lacasse in his infield playing mostly traditionally, although the second baseman is closer to first, and that's ball 4. So Nicholson reaches, and it's a 1-out base runner following the home run, and this is the first trouble Juan Benitez has run into today.
Well, both bullpens quiet at the moment. We mentioned there was some action in the Welland bullpen very briefly in the bottom half of that 5th inning, but that side is quiet now too.
Yeah, you can see why based on the last inning from Polanchek. He definitely found something. We'll look more into that as the night goes on. Here's the pitch, and it is fouled away. Right side. Mentioned Toftland's the one to watch. He is such a good hitter and a fan favorite in Welland.
This will be the 90th pitch from Benitez. He's thrown 56 strikes, Patrick.
Toftland, another guy in this league, as the runner goes with 500 on base average, as Nicholson slides into second with the stolen base, unchallenged by Plumpton. So the infield that was playing at double play depth will now return a little bit more traditional as Carson Burns back over to the main shortstop spot.
And it's the first time the Jackfish have had a runner in scoring position this afternoon, as the walk was stranded at second in the 1st, and the base hit by Dennis DeBanning in the 4th got no further than first base. really clean ball game by Juan Benitez heading into the 6th inning.
I guess you could count the home run as in scoring position very briefly.
Yeah.
Passed by.
Not from a base runner perspective, but still, as far as getting a run in.
Yeah. He's been excellent. Looks back at the runner, kicks, throws, and it is grounded left side. It's going to stay in play. Moving in Lacasse. He's not going to have a play at first. He's safe. Runners on the corners now with 1 out.
Well, absolutely nothing Lacasse could do. He was playing too far back to try to make a play on that. Got the throw off anyways, but no chance.
You can't blame him for playing far back. Tofflin's got a lot of power, and off the bat, you're going to get high exit velo. But he didn't get all of it. Just got under his bat and a soft dribbler, and it went too far out for Plumpton and not far enough in for Lacasse. He found a good spot. You know they want to get 7 innings from Benitez. That's mostly been his peak this season. He's gone into the 8th once or twice, but 5's been essentially his minimum except for 1 game, and 7's been mostly what they want from him.
Well, at the start of the season, he was only giving them 5 innings, and the Baycats were hoping he could go a little bit deeper in ball games, but he just wasn't comfortable early on in the start of the season doing that. He has done so lately. We mentioned 7 innings in his last ball game against Kitchener last week, and that's more of what they expect from him.
We've seen a lot this year. As we mentioned, this is a bit of a retooling year for the Baycats in terms of the roster, although they're having a good time so far tonight again. It's a much different roster, right? So there's a lot of guys getting used to playing for the Baycats, and it takes them a couple of games to adjust to the league and the team, but once they get adjusted, and Benitez has certainly done that, they look good. Up and in now, 1-0 to Dennis Day-Banning. Day-Banning's an impressive player.
Oh, no question. He can do just about anything at the plate end in the field.
This Welland order as a whole is very, very good, but that 3-4-5, Tofflin, Day-Banning, and Hildebrand, just really, really strong. And Benitez has done a good job getting through them so far, but his job's not over now. Runners take the lead off 1st and 3rd. Potential double play situation. Runner was going, but it's fouled straight back. So he'll return back. You expect he could go. There's only 1 out, and it takes away the chance of the double play. So on a 2-1, keep an eye on the first base bag there. Benitez set, kicks and throws, swing and a foul tip, strike 2.
Day-Banning really your prototypical all-around athlete. He can run, he can throw, great with the glove, and of course a solid hitter at the plate.
Two-two. Right field. This one could get down, and it will. This will score a run. Rounding second and going to third is the lead runner. Day-Banning is going to round first and go to second. There's going to be runners at second and third. With only the 1 out, it's 5-2 now.
Well, a very long double for Dennis Day-Banning that went all the way back to the wall. Jackfish get their 2nd runner home as Nicholson comes in to score. So the walk from Juan Benitez ends up costing a run. Toffel at 3rd, Day-Banning at 2nd now, and here comes the tying run for the Jackfish. This game far from over here in the 6th inning. Well, with a chance to draw even here.
A deep breath from Benitez. He stares in for the sign. Bigger lead off 2nd than 3rd, though there's nowhere to go unless you want to try stealing home, which probably not going to happen in a playoff game. Here's the pitch from Benitez, and it's fouled away. Action in the Baycats bullpen now. A righty's getting loose. Benitez looks back, kicks, fires, and that one's hit. Not deep, right center field. Moving over is Jake Wilson. This will score a run, though. Wilson moving in, makes the catch. Runner tags, goes home. There's going to be a play at the plate. He's out!
What a throw by Jake Wilson as he guns down the runner. That was Dane Tofflin, who got a pretty good jump off the bag at 3rd. But Wilson with an absolute rocket from center field. How clutch was that?
Jake Wilson makes the play at the plate. Tyler Plumpton on the other end. They get the runner. And the inning is over. Barrie leads 5-2. We're still in the sixth. We'll be back in just a moment on Baycats TV.
The Welland in six, 2 runs and 3 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Bench last call for 50-50 tickets. 3 for 2, 9 for 5. Drawing takes place at the 7th inning.
That'll score a run, huh? Jake Wilson, something to say about that, Ben?
Yes, he did, my friend. I think he heard you from all the way back there in center field. That was the right play, though, sending the runner in from third, but Wilson, just an absolute bullet from center field.
My goodness. Bottom of the sixth inning, Carson Burns will stand in to lead off against Jake Polanchek, who has looked better in the last inning in a bit. He ran into some trouble early on in the game, but really started mixing his pitches and finding what he was missing.
Yeah, the 5-run third, really his only downfall so far tonight. Everything else he's been able to work out of. A nice 3 up, 3 down fifth. In the inning prior to that, he got 3 straight outs after hitting David Leblanc.
Second base on a pop-up. Moving over is the new second baseman, Brandon Nicholson. Not super new anymore, but new since the game started. 1 out. Even in the fourth at the start, he wasn't super comfortable. He hit the batter, but something in that Avery Tuck at bat clicked for him, and he found his confidence, and since then it's been smooth sailing.
Well, I didn't know if he'd get out of the third, to be honest with you. The Baycats were seeing everything and just barreling up on him. The strikeout to Tyler Plumpton ended the inning, but not before the Baycats could explode for 5 runs off of him.
And now they might get 6 innings. Plumpton shows bunt, pulls it back, strike 1. They might get 6 innings out of their starter, Jake Polanchek, if he's able to complete this inning. And that would be huge considering how inflated his pitch count got in the third. That's a strike. 0-2. Strike zone a little bit on the high side there. It has been for most of the evening, so it's smaller on the corners and on the sides, but a little bit taller. In the dirt, backstop. No one advances because no one's on base.
Polanchek, 23 years old, but showing the stuff of a veteran here this afternoon. Anytime you can escape a big inning like that third and regain your composure and settle down for a couple innings afterwards, that's exactly what he's done here for Welland, and that's what they've needed from him here today.
Stands 6'3" on the mound, pitches outside. He's got experience in big-time moments. He was drafted in the MLB draft in 2016 in round 11. And he was in the minor league baseball system for a while. Pitch from Polanchek is... Oh, Welland thought they had it. 3-2.
Product of Langley, BC, his first IBL season here with Welland in 2021. Went 1-1 with a 4.20 ERA this year.
If you're wondering what team drafted him in the MLB draft, it was the Arizona Diamondbacks. Now in Welland, here's the pitch from Polanchek. Ball 4.
Jake Harford started game 1 for the Jackfish, and Chris Bewato, who I thought might have been used in game 2 here, ended up coming on and very strong in relief for Welland in game 1 to set it up for Polanchek to get the game 2 start. Jackfish trying to get to game 3, which would be tomorrow afternoon in Welland on their home field.
It would be at 4:05 p.m. Eastern Time.
And that would be the deciding game in this short best of 3.
Pitch to LeBlanc, hit to right center. This could find a gap, and it does. It's a base hit for David LeBlanc.
Nice piece of hitting there as LeBlanc has reached base all 3 times tonight.
Moving up to second is Tyler Plumpton. LeBlanc's looked really good. This time he can't steal second. But
I guess if he's gonna get to you, you want to make sure there's a runner on the bases ahead of him. Maybe you don't. Well, not with Jake Wilson coming up at least.
Don't know if you've caught a previous broadcast, we've mentioned that Leblanc, when he's at the bottom of the order, is very much a top of the order bat playing in the bottom of the batting order. And we mentioned it off the top here, but more like a reverse leadoff guy. Here is the actual leadoff guy, Jake Wilson. He takes a strike going one. It's Tyler Plumpton on second. It's David Leblanc on first. Jake Wilson in the batter's box facing off against Jake Polanchek on the hill. 5-2, Barrie over Welland here in the bottom of the 6th inning. There's one out here at Coates Stadium. Looks back at the runner at second. Kicks, fires, and it is hit foul territory left side. I don't think Tofflin's going to have a play, and he's not.
Well, the walk to Brandon Nicholson came back to haunt the Baycats in the top of the 6th. Now the Baycats looking to return the favor with the Tyler Plumpton walk here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He's in scoring position with one out, and a chance for Jake Wilson to cash him in.
Wilson's seen the ball well today. Long hold on the mound. Kicks, throws. Fouls it away again. He's getting good contact on pitches outside. Just wasting them.
Wilson just protecting the plate there on that 0-2. Pitch way outside, but he's looking for something better that he can possibly drive to the right side and get Tyler Plumpton home from second base.
And getting the pitch count up on a guy who has a pitch count pretty high at this point. Looks back at the runner, kicks and throws. It's inside.
Plumpton not known for his speed, but he's dancing around at second base. He's trying to maybe just catch the corner of the eye of Polanchek and see if he can distract just a little bit, get any edge out there on the bases he can.
Polanchek pitches inside are a lot sharper than they were in the 3rd. He's hitting his spots more. And that should benefit him, but he's got to hit all of them. On the ground, second base, could be 2, but it won't be. Play at first, it won't be any.
Well, that's going to be an error on the Welland second baseman, his 2nd of the afternoon. Actually, the earlier error was to Nolan Pettipiece, my mistake with a defensive shift. That was Brandon Nicholson at 2nd.
And that's why we say could be 2. It could have been 2, but it was nobody. Plumpton moves up to 3rd, LeBlanc up to 2nd.
Second base, number 7, Royce Ando.
And Jake Wilson on first for Royce Ando. And what a moment for Ando, who was in player of the game territory last time up in game 1.
So 2 errors at second base for the Jackfish, 1 to Nolan Pettipiece and 1 to Brendan Nicholson, who took over Pettipiece's defensive position a couple of innings ago. And now they're playing it on the grass.
Ando to left, not super deep. It should score a run. It's caught. Play at the plate. Chance for redemption. No, it's cut off. Throw to 3rd, and he's out at 3rd.
And the run will not score.
The run won't score.
Or it will. They're saying it will.
So the run got in there in time. It's 6-2. So the Baycats scored, and then there was a play at 3rd. I was a little bit skeptical of Polanchek cutting off that ball before it got to the plate, but he got it to 3rd in time and ended the inning.
Well, the question was, did Plumpton touch the plate before LeBlanc was thrown out at 3rd? The umpire said yes, he did, and that makes it a run for Barrie in the 6th inning.
We head to the 7th here on Baycats TV.
Barrie to 6, 1 run and 1 hit. There's 1 well there, 1 runner left on base. Inning number 7 is sponsored by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge. Experience the tradition of quality service in a relaxed environment. Redefining gentlemen in the heart of Barrie. Vintage Throne Barber Lounge.
Inning number 7 here at Coates Stadium. 7th inning is sponsored by Vintage Throne Barber Lounge. Experience the tradition of quality service in a relaxed environment. Redefining gentlemen in the heart of Barrie. Hectic bottom of the 6th inning. 1 run, 1 hit, 1 Welland error, 1 runner left on base. Patch Melbourne here on Baycats TV. But now let's give it back to the voice of the Baycats, Ben Davy.
Thanks, Patrick. And Juan Benitez back out to work inning number 7 for the Baycats. He'll face 6, 7, 8. Mike Wagner, Zarley Sina, who came on as a pinch runner for Nolan Pettipies, and Andrew Mercier, the catcher. All due up here for Welland in the 7th. They trail by 4. And an interesting finish to that bottom of the 6th inning, which saw Tyler Plumpton score Barrie's 6th run of the afternoon on a sacrifice fly by Royce Ando. He gets in the RBI for driving in the run, but David LeBlanc thrown out, tagging up from 2nd to 3rd on a heads-up play by the infield. Plumpton crossing the plate before the out was recorded, so we'll see how huge that run ends up being for Barrie as this game unfolds, but it gives them a 4-run lead. This one hit on the ground foul over to the Baycat dugout. Wagner is 0 for 2 this afternoon. 1-1 from Benitez. High, shallow fly ball. And it'll be the left fielder taking that one, David LeBlanc. 1 out here in the 7th inning. Benitez got into a little bit of trouble for the first time this afternoon in the 6th. Solo home run by Griffin Keller got the Jackfish on the board. Then a walk to Brandon Nicholson ended up coming in to score as well. He scored 2nd. Toftelin followed that up with a single, and then a double by Dennis Day Banning. So 4 straight base runners for the Jackfish in that 6th inning. Called strike to Zarley Sina. Sina, the left fielder, in the number 7 spot. 6-2 Baycat lead. A win today clinches this best-of-3 playoff series. This one hit on the ground. Royce Ando over to first in time for the out. 2 up, 2 down for the Jackfish in the 7th.
Ben, we talk a lot lately about how good Royce Ando's been with the bat throughout the last couple of days in Game 1 of the playoffs. How good has he been at stabilizing second base? Not that second base really needed to stabilize too much. They've had a lot of good players cycle in and out throughout the season there, but Ando, a really good second baseman, and I think they like having him there. Burns and Ando up the middle. Nice combination.
Well, there's been quite a few adjustments defensively for the Baycats as the season has unfolded. Just trying to figure out the right spot for everybody, and of course some late additions to the roster as well. And
a lot of guys have been flexible. James Anderson, Jake McDonald, Jeff Cowan's been flexible.
A couple of injuries along the way didn't help. This one lined to short, and it's just over the glove of Carson Burns. A base hit for the Jackfish with 2 out here in the 7th inning.
But you look at the way the Baycats could line up. They could put Ando at 2nd. They could put Branfi Infante at 2nd. Cowan at 2nd. Darius Barless has played a little bit of 2nd. So
number 9, Eric Marriott.
I think Josh Matlow has really found a lineup that he likes here. As we mentioned, there only really one minor tweak from Game 1 on Thursday night, and that's flipping Burns and Plumpton in the 7-8 spots. But other than that, everybody in the same spot.
Yep, and you imagine that Jeff Cowan and Branfi Infante could see playing time in the future as well. So a lot of really good options here for the Baycats.
You got to believe they're going to use the veteran Jeff Cowan at some point as this postseason unfolds. He has yet to make a playoff appearance. Mike Cicchetto, the DH, so far in both games. 1 ball, 1 strike. And
fewer games on the season for Branfi Infante, but really, really good stats. So he's definitely in the mix too.
Benitez offers and a shallow fly ball. It's going to fall in foul territory. No chance for LeBlanc on that one. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
But you're right. Jake Wilson, Royce Ando, Avery Tuck is a fantastic top 3 right now. And then you have Rio and Cicchetto at the middle. Marcelo Cass also playing somewhere between the 4 and 6 spots. It's a good lineup. And then you have David LeBlanc at the bottom, providing a lot of stability to that 9 spot.
A late time call there by Eric Marriott, just as the fans were starting to get into it. Benitez had already lifted his left leg. Decided not to follow through with the pitch. Count is 1 ball and 2 strikes.
On the 1-2, that risks messing up the hitter more than the pitcher.
Protecting the plate is Marriott as he gets a piece of that on a defensive swing, 1 and 2.
And I think that actually happened there. You step back in, you don't have a ton of time. Benitez works fast, and then he just wasted a pitch that he never saw 100%. That was a pitch he could have maybe pulled more fair if he had a little bit more time to prep for it.
This one flared into left field, and it'll drop for a base hit. right on the line. And that one fired in by left fielder David Leblanc. Keeps the inning alive. 2 aboard. We're back to the top of the order for Griffin Keller.
There it is. Benitez tried to go back to that exact same pitch, and this time he did have a little bit more time to react to it, and he saw it a lot better and was able to straighten it up into fair territory. Just barely fair territory, but got it in there.
Griffin Keller.
Pretty much right on the chalk. And a conference on the mound. Looks like that might be Andrew White out for a visit with Juan Benitez and catcher Tyler Plumpton.
If you're wondering about the bullpen, if you didn't catch game 1 or you're just hoping for a refresher, for Barrie in the bullpen in game 1 after Andrew Greider, they used Hillier, Cox, and Gravison for an inning each. Welland went with Harford for 6 2/3 and then Boato for 2 1/3. So everybody else who's active for these teams is fresh in terms of playoff readiness, stamina. Some of them first playoff experience in the IBL on both sides.
So another big at bat here for the Jackfish. They trail by 4. Tying run on deck. Here at the plate is Griffin Keller. He hit a solo home run in the 6th inning to get the Jackfish on the board.
He was taking all the way there.
If he parks another one here, it's a 1-run ball game.
And he's locked in. He was not fooled by that last pitch.
Benitez misses ball 2. Keller quickly ahead of the count here. 2 balls, no strikes.
And there's action in the Barrie bullpen. I think Benitez, this will be his final inning of play either way.
Plumpton puts down the sign. Benitez comes set. The leg kick, the 2-0. Foul over the screen, out of play.
7th inning, that's what they hope for with Benitez.
Well, the pitch count is now at 114. 74 strikes, 40 walks. I think they just want him to get out of the 7th inning and get the ball safely to the bullpen here. Benitez wants Plumpton to run through the signs again. 2 balls, 1 strike. The pitch on the ground and through into right field. They put the stop sign up as holding at third is Mercier. Marriott to second. A base hit for Griffin Keller. Keeps the inning alive for Brandon Nicholson. And will Benitez face him? That's the question.
He's not
Josh
going to.
Matlow is out.
He's already motioned to the pen, and I think that's a good call. Benitez has given them everything tonight, but he's clearly at the end of his stamina. What a night, though, for Juan Benitez. Came out there as the team ace in game 2 and delivered.
Josh Matlow out to get the ball, and that will do it for the Dominican right-hander. Pitched brilliantly this afternoon.
And he gets a big hand just like he did last time. What a guy. What an addition Juan Benitez has been to this team this year.
He surrenders 7 hits in 6 2/3 innings of work, and he hands it off to the bullpen. Bases loaded for the Jackfish in the top of the 7th. It's a 6-2 Barrie lead. You're watching Baycats TV.
Defensive change for the Baycats in the pitch, number 38, Brandon Hillier.
I was hoping the pitch count would get as high as the viewers. It never did. That's nice. Pitched on Thursday night.
I'm like everywhere. Yeah. That's why I just got it.
Brandon Nicholson.
26-year-old Brandon Hillier comes on in relief of Juan Benitez, and he steps into a high-pressure situation with the bases loaded and 2 out for the Jackfish here in the top of the 7th inning.
Second outing of the postseason for Brandon Hillier. Last time out, he pitched only the single inning, struck out 1, gave up nothing.
Nicholson hits a high fly ball to center field or right field. Avery Tuck, no problem with that. He takes it for the out, 1 pitch, and that puts out the fire for the Barrie Baycats in the top of the 7th inning. And a nice hand for Brandon Hillier, who comes on and makes it look about as easy as he possibly can. Jackfish leave the bases loaded, and it's a 4-run Barrie lead. Stretch time here at Coates Stadium. You're watching Baycats TV.
Let's go, guys. 7th inning stretch at the ballpark. Sing it. Out to the crowd. Right field line. Get on your feet. Backer Jack. Sing it. Root for the Baycats. Let me hear ya. 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're right at the old ball game. Make some noise for your Baycats, Coates Stadium! Yeah, all right. All right, folks, I think it's time for a 50-50 draw. You guys ready for this? Up for grabs is $429 tonight at Coates Stadium. I hope you have your 50-50 tickets in front of you. If not, pull them out right now to find out who will be the winner. And who is joining me to announce it tonight? What's your name? Chantal from where? All right, Chantal from Barrie. Let's make this happen tonight. You can shake it all up. Make sure it's all good. Okay. And you pick the winning ticket tonight. It is 225735. Once again, 225735. Congratulations, you are the winner of $429 tonight at the ballpark. Come visit us at the merch tent to claim your money. And we will get the winner's name a little later on.
Defensive change for the Jackfish in the pitch, number 55, Brett Lawson.
Bottom of the 7th inning, the Baycats will send up 3, 4, 5. Avery Tuck, Ryan Rio, and Mike Chiquetto to hit against relief pitcher Brett Lawson, who comes on in relief of starter Jake Polanchek.
Brett Lawson this season. In the regular season, he appeared in 4 games, started 2 of them.
Avery Tuck.
Pitched in 13 innings, gave up 17 runs, had an ERA of 11.76, so not the best regular season for Lawson, but he'll be looking to turn the page in the postseason. He was warming up earlier, too.
Sorry, go ahead, Patrick.
The bullpen hasn't been super kind at times to the Welland Jackfish this season. It's a really hard piece of the puzzle for a baseball team to put together, but in playoff time it needs to.
Lawson, a familiar name to Baycat fans. He was a reliever from 2013 to 2018. Pitched for Guelph for a couple of the 2019 season, and then Welland here in 2021. Swing and a miss, 2-2 to Tuck. Started his IBL career with the Toronto Maple Leafs in 2011. "42 years old, native of Burlington, an IBL veteran. On the ground to first. Taking this one himself is Griffin Keller. And there's one away here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Ryan Rio is 1 for 3 this afternoon. Singled and drove in a run in the 3rd. Sandwiched around a ground out and a pop out. A 5-run third inning, pacing the Baycats to a 6-2 lead here in Game 2 of this best-of-3 first-round IBL 2021 playoff series.
So we were talking before the game about Ryan Rio's stats and everything, and I was mentioning that I put on the stats side of my brain a couple of days ago and compiled a little bit more advanced stats.
Squared to bunt. I'm not sure if he was just joking. He wasn't seriously thinking about that, and then he fouls it off, strike one.
So I was looking at weighted on base average, which is a more advanced stat, and it's a lot like on base percentage, but just places different weights on the different kinds of hits and ways you get on base.
So you're the guy that sits on the computer at 2:30 in the morning and figures these stats out. So go ahead. What did you come up?
The important part of this story is that Ryan Rio leads the team, and that's good. He also leads the team in OPS. He leads the team in slugging percentage and batting average. So for the stat fans, Ryan Rio is a really, really good one to watch. And that translates for people who don't care about stats too, because he's just a really good hitter.
Hits that one the other way, and the third baseman had shifted over. The throw over, not nearly in time. Nice hitting by Ryan Rio, and there's something that won't show up on your stat sheet. Him going the opposite way to third with Toftelin shifted over to the left side of the infield.
Yeah, but he's done that all season long. And the way he can get base hits, not just the flashy base hits, but also the infield ones that go deeper like that. He's done that a few times this season too, and that helps keep the stats higher than they would otherwise be. Everywhere you look, Ryan Rio is just a positive guy to watch.
Well, they expected him to hit it to the right side, and that's why they were shifted around. Rio saw that and put it exactly where the third baseman wasn't. This one lined to short. What a play there by Wagner. Gets up to second one, over to first. The stretch by the first baseman pulls him off the bag. Well, Brandon Nicholson rushed that throw a lot faster than he probably needed to with the slow-running Chiquetto coming down the first base line.
He didn't have to throw it that fast. It was really hard off the bat. Chiquetto's got a ton of power in the bat, and it showed right there, even though it was on basically a line. By the time it got to Nicholson at second, he had plenty of time. He got there fast. He doesn't run particularly well, and he did not need to handle it that way defensively.
Yeah, just a case of Nicholson maybe not knowing the base runner, and a pinch runner now as Chiquetto will exit the ball game.
Chiquetto's had a good few days. He's really looking like that middle of the order bat the Baycats want him to be.
Not sure if that's Jake McDonald at first.
Does look like Jake McDonald, doesn't it?
Your eyes are better than mine, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is Jake McDonald at first.
Whatever that is.
Wears number 26 on his back.
And he's back. The head first dive.
Jake McDonald.
Yeah, 26. They have a good gap on the 6.
So Rio retired 6-4. McDonald pinch running for Chiquetto, who keeps the inning alive with the fielder's choice. 2 down. Runner goes. Pitch in the dirt, and there's no throw.
McDonald's been such a good player for the Baycats as well. He brings a lot of defensive versatility. He can play behind the plate. He can play first base and left field. He can run a little bit, and he's been used as a pinch runner as well. You see catcher and you think, not big base stealers, but Jake McDonald can run.
And this ball hits a center field. That's Eric Marriott. Tracking to his right, makes the catch, and that's the third out of the 7th inning. We go to the 8th here at Coates Stadium. It's a 6-2 Baycat lead. You're watching Baycats TV.
No runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. Inning number 8 is sponsored by Barnstormer Brewing Company, the official local beer of the Barrie Baycats. Barnstormer Brewing Company.
Hey, Baycats fans, Rob Daniels here to the right of home plate with our winning announcement of the 50-50 draw. And the winner of $429 at Coates Stadium here tonight is... Congratulations, Len from Newell, the winner of $429. And we'll have the winner announcement for our social media contest that happens in the bottom of the 8th inning here at Coach Stadium.
He likes to keep it best. He screwed up under the first pitch of Michael Jackson. Seriously. We'll think twice before shifting the line.
Top of the 8th here at Coates Stadium in Springwater. On Baycats TV, I'm Ben Davy with Patrick Wellborn. And the Baycats up by 4 in Game 2 of this best-of-3 first-round playoff series. Dane Toftelin is scheduled up to start the 8th, along with Dennis Day-Banning and Matt Hildebrand to follow. Toftelin has reached base twice this afternoon. Brandon Hillier on in relief of starter Juan Benitez, who threw 115 pitches this afternoon, gave the Baycats 6 2/3. Hillier threw 1 pitch and got the fly ball he needed to get the Baycats off the field in the 7th.
Toftelin 2 for 3 in Game 1 of this series. This guy was. Is that right on top of our heads there on the roof?
No, that was just somebody hitting the. I think a kid jumping and hitting the metal stands here.
Gotcha. I looked down for a second. Anyway, back to relevant things. Toftelin's a guy who basically has a hit a day. It's kind of crazy. He's really, really good. He has a 500 on base average coming into today. One of the keys to every single opponent pitcher is to get him out facing this lineup.
Swing and a miss. Foul tip.
Benitez facing Toftelin the first time around overpowered him, and it was really, really impressive. It was kind of the moment early on in the game where you say Benitez has his stuff, and it's really, really good stuff today. Because Toftelin's one of the best hitters in the whole league.
He allowed just 2 base runners through 5 innings and then got into trouble in the 6th when the Jackfish finally got to him. Started with that home run by Griffin Keller.
All right, fans, stand up. We got
nobody on base at the time.
We got to get back into this game. 4 runs are never enough in baseball. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. The 2-strike clock. Come on. Come on. Make some noise for your Baycats.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Dane Toftelin.
Let's go, Coach Stadium.
Rob Daniels, our in-stadium PA announcer on the mic, encouraging the fans to make some noise.
What a catch.
What a great play there.
2-strike clock. Get that out. Way to go, Baycats fans.
Avery Tuck in right field. What a catch that was.
Turn his mic off. The right fielder, number 6, Dennis Day-Banning.
1 out in the 8th inning. Dennis Day-Banning, the right fielder, comes to the plate.
Tuck slid to make that play, and it was a fantastic catch.
This one hit to Tuck as well. This one farther back. It's carrying, and it's caught by Tuck right in front of the warning track. The wind has shifted a little bit now. It's blowing a little more sharply to right field and not quite in as much as it was earlier in the game.
Yeah, you're right, Ben. Avery Tuck has had 2 very different fly balls to deal with now. He's a really good fielder and has a really good arm. I feel like I'm being really complimentary the last inning or so, but it's because we're seeing a lot of really good baseball players. Avery Tuck, really strong in right field since the Baycats have made him the everyday right fielder.
First pitch to Hildebrand misses, and it's ball 1. Sun has been playing hide and seek with the clouds all afternoon, and now it's behind the clouds again.
Sunglasses go off in the broadcast booth.
Changing eyewear more often than pitchers
Normal
in this ball
glasses
game.
back on.
We got to get the flip downs at some point.
Yeah. That's the important play-by-play here, you know? 2-0, glasses go off.
Yeah. Oh, this one rocked to center field. Going back is Jake Wilson. It'll stay in the park, and he makes the catch.
There we go.
That ball seemed to carry to right center field. Wilson saw it all the way, and it's a 3-up, 3-down, 8th inning for Brandon Hillier and the Barrie Baycats. After 7.5, it's a 6-2 Barrie lead. You're watching Baycats TV.
So 1 in the 8th, no runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left on base.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that's fine. Like, you will applause things and stuff, but when the picture comes set, that's when the sound should go off. The guy in Cleveland who makes the drum has been doing that for like 5 years. You'll notice he always stops as soon as the picture comes set. And he only does it for
ladies and gentlemen, the winner of our social media contest, which is some Baycats swag and a free oil change, goes to Grace Arbo on Instagram. Grace Arbo, please claim your prize at the Baycats tent tonight at the front of Post Stadium. Congratulations, Grace Arbo.
8th inning brought to you by Barnstormer Brewing Company, the official local beer of the Barrie Baycats. And it's the bottom third of the order. Carson Burns, Tyler Plumpton, and David Leblanc looking to add to this 4-run Baycat lead. Big 5-run third inning for the Baycats. The story of this ball game off Welland starter Jake Polanchek. He threw well aside from that third inning. He is the pitcher of record here this afternoon for Welland. Burns quickly ahead in the count here. 2 balls, no strikes. Kitchener Panthers will play the Brantford Red Sox in Game 2 of that series tonight at 7:30 in Brantford. A Red Sox win would advance them to round 2. They already lead that series 1-0. Baycats lead this series 1-0 here. And the Toronto Maple Leafs swept the Hamilton Cardinals 2 straight to take that best of 3.
One of those rare IBL days where you can see all the action at different times, right?
Love it.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
So what does that mean for the Baycats? Well, if Brantford wins tonight or they win Game 3 and take that series, it means the Baycats will play Toronto in round 1. And if Kitchener comes back and wins that series, the Baycats would be the lowest seeded remaining team, and that would mean they would play the pennant-clinching London Majors in round 1, the top team in the IBL standings.
I have a feeling all of these teams don't want to play London.
3-2. Just got a piece and he stays alive.
Although I bet you if you ask a player, they'll say, bring on my next opponent no matter who it is. We can face off against the best, right?
You got to have that mindset in the playoffs, no question, but the facts are the London Majors have been the juggernaut of the 2021 IBL season. And they've been resting as well, so that's the other advantage of winning the pennant. You get a chance to line up your pitchers and get everybody well rested and out there on the field. So
for whoever goes up against London, beating them is going to be an easier said than done thing. It'll be possible for any of these teams. They were close enough during the regular season, but London is very, very tough.
Welland Jackfish in the same situation as the Baycats. They would play Toronto if they win this series.
Big gap in between the second baseman and the shortstop, Ben.
Here's the 3-2. Ball 4. Yep, they gave him a lot of room up the middle. Didn't matter, though. Burns draws a base on balls.
Feels like both infields have been doing that a little bit today.
Tyler Plumpton 0 for 2 with a walk today. Has a pair of strikeouts.
Catcher number 44, Tyler Plumpton.
Scored a run in the 6th. That run an insurance marker to give Barrie 6 runs on the afternoon total. Plumpton scored on a play where David Leblanc was thrown out, tagging up from second to third on a fly ball by Roy Sando. Runner goes. Here's the throw, the tag, not in time. Second stolen base of the afternoon for Carson Burns.
Yeah, and that wasn't a particularly great jump, but it was a good job to stay with it and take advantage of the high throw by getting in there. Well done. It's starting to cool down here at the ballpark, Ben. So we're going to see balls start to move just a little bit differently off these pitchers' hands. Cloud cover is pretty much gone to right field. No shadows to worry about, but in terms of temperature, it's getting chilly, and that's going to affect the play.
The way the temperature changes from August to September is just...
It's pretty dramatic.
It just startles me every year. That fall chill just sort of hits you out of nowhere, and it seems to change with the calendar.
That's why they designed the calendar that way.
There's a bunt by Plumpton, fielded by the pitcher. One play, that's at first. Great job. Tyler Plumpton gets the job done, getting Carson Burns an extra 90 feet on the bases. So one out for the number 9 hitter, David Leblanc.
LeBlanc's going to be swinging early. That's why they designed the calendar that way, man. They went for years, and they went September 1st, that's the day it gets cold.
Yeah, it seems that way.
I don't know how it's actually done.
We had so many hot, muggy nights here at Coates Stadium this season.
That's how it goes in my head, you know.
Rain only factored in a couple of games, to be honest with you. So
yeah.
we were pretty lucky with the calendar. Rain was more of an issue in the early part of the schedule.
Yeah, we didn't have to use the old postpone signs. It's been pretty clear for most of the year. Even that game where it looked like it was about to rain pretty much all night, never really rained.
Nope.
Which is good for us because we have all the equipment right here.
Yeah, we do. We do. We got a little bit of a covering above us, but with a strong wind, everything here is going to get wet. So.
Yeah.
1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Lawson just misses, and it's 2-1 to David Leblanc. Leblanc has reached base all 3 times this afternoon. Reached on an error, was hit by a pitch, and singled before he was thrown out at third base.
Wouldn't surprise me if Carson Burns started taking more exaggerated leads just to try and distract the pitcher out of the corner of the eye. It's a righty, so he's staring at third.
It's a 4-run lead for the Baycats. 2 up for Welland. If you're looking ahead to the 9th, it'll be Wagner, Cena, and Mercier.
This is the most the wind has been on all night. Like, I just had to hold my hat down.
3-1. On the ground, third base. They're going to make the play at the plate, and there's the easy tag as they get Burns.
You know, coaches will normally say just go to first, but that was perfect positioning to be able to go to home. And Burns runs reasonably well, but he wasn't going to get home in time there. No play at first.
Yeah, Toftelin saw that Burns had committed and had no chance of turning back. So once he saw that, saw how much time he had, and Mercier in the right spot at the right time for the throw, made the tag. No chance for Burns, who was dead as a duck on that play. So 2 out now.
Watch for LeBlanc off first.
Runner goes. Throw is in, and it bounces up. Over the cover, Mike Wagner. In with the stolen base is David Leblanc.
LeBlanc has gone off first on the first pitch every single time tonight, except the time Plumpton was on second.
And he has 3 stolen bases.
Yep, he's been successful all 3 times.
Stolen the 3rd, in the 4th, and now in the 8th.
He just doesn't like first base much.
It's been a real productive day for David Leblanc at the plate when you look at it. I mean, he's gotten on base all 4 times. Scored the first run of the ball game for the Baycats, reaching on an error.
It's like the first base bag is blaring music he just doesn't like. He wants to get away from that and up to second as fast as possible.
This one down the first base line and foul. And the count is 2-1 to leadoff man Jake Wilson. Baycats looking to get to round 2 of the playoffs. They're 3 outs away from doing so, leading by 4 and trying to add more here in the bottom of the 8th. Veteran Brett Lawson, former Baycat, on the mound for the Jackfish. The pitch. Low and in the dirt, and the count is 3-1. Andrew Mercier puts down the sign. Lawson from the belt. The leg kick and the 3-1. On the ground, first base side. Hop handled by Keller, trots to the bag in time, and that does it for Barrie. So it's a 4-run lead for the Baycats as we go to the 9th. Barrie looking to get to round 2 of the postseason here at Coates Stadium on this Saturday afternoon in Midhurst. You're watching Baycats TV. We'll be right back.
Hey Baycats fans, it's Rob Daniels checking in behind home plate. Don't be afraid to get behind your Baycats this inning. 3 outs left to go. 2-strike clap. Whenever there are 2 strikes, you should be clapping like there is no tomorrow. This is our opportunity to get to the 2nd round of the Intercounty Baseball League playoffs. So get behind your Baycats, 2-strike clap, make some noise. We're going to the bottom of the 9th, up by 4. And don't forget on your way out of the stadium tonight to visit Vintage Throne Barber Lounge. They're here today donating some of their money for Send a Kid to Barrie Baycats Camp. Yeah, donate $1 at their table today, and they'll give you an espresso and lemonade. It is delicious, so stop on by. Once again, Vintage Throne Barber Lounge on your way out of Coates Stadium tonight.
Defensive change for the Baycats in the pitch, number 12, Brad Griffin.
Top of the 9th inning, Baycats 3 outs away from round 2 of the 2021 postseason. I'm Ben Davy with Patrick Melbourne and a 6-2 Baycat lead over the Welland Jackfish here in Game 2.
New pitcher for the Barrie Baycats, Brad Griffin, has come into pitch. The veteran righty, he also pitched in Game 1, so they're going mostly the same strategy as Game 1. No Chris Cox in the middle this time, but Griffin strikeout last time, pitched an inning of play. Closed it out in Game 1, trying to do the same thing here.
Grievison seems to be kind of taking on that closer role for Josh Matlow.
Yeah.
And we'll see if that continues as the playoffs unfold.
He's done such a good job at adapting to whatever role the Baycats wanted to be. He was a starter for a bit earlier. He was a long reliever, and now into that closer role alongside Chris Cox, a little bit of Evan Souls as well. And then Hilliard, high leverage setup guy.
No balls, 2 strikes. Pitch from Grievison is fouled off.
Josh Matlow, after Game 1, called that bullpen setup picture perfect. He loved having the Hilliard, Cox, Grievison setup. Hilliard gave them a little bit more length today, and now back to Grievison.
Second base, Royce Endo. Toss to first in time, 1 out in the 9th. Juan Benitez threw 115 pitches this afternoon for the Baycats, looking for his first postseason win. Zarly Sina came on as a pinch runner in the 5th for Nolan Pettipiece, and he will bat here with 1 away in the 9th. And a strike to start him off. Sounds like we got a bit of drag racing happening on Highway 26. 0-1 pitch, up the middle and through into center field. Ando moving to his right, couldn't get there in time, and a perfectly placed base hit for Zarly Sina here in the 9th inning.
The catcher number 26, Andrew Mercier.
You can see at the top of your screen the second baseman on the right, shortstop on the left, and they'll be setting up in double play formation, trying to end this game with 1 swing of the bat. Cena runs pretty well. They've used him as a pinch runner before this year.
Grieveson's first offering misses, ball one. Count is even, a ball and a strike to Andrew Mercier, who's 1 for 3 this afternoon. Grieveson's pitch finds the plate, 1-2. Welland Jackfish were 500 in this 2021 regular season. 15 wins, 15 losses. Good for home field in a first-round playoff series. That is in jeopardy here as this one is fouled off. Count holds at 1-2. Barrie finished 2 games below 500. Well, I guess 1 game below 500, 14-16. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Zarly Sina. Brad Grieveson, the veteran, with a pitch. High, pop up. Grieveson playing traffic cop. He'll get out of the way. It'll be the first baseman to take it. Ryan Rio, and there's 2 down.
Hey, Baycats fans, on your feet!
Grieveson, the veteran, knew exactly what to do there. Identify the ball.
Number 9, Eric Marriott.
And who's going to get it? And he got out of the way, and Rio was in the right spot. 2 outs now.
Everybody in Coates Stadium standing up right now, including the Baycats dugout.
Eric Marriott, the final bullet for the Welland Jackfish, trailing by 4 with a runner on and 2 out in the 9th, and he hits this one to short. Here's Burns with it, makes the throw across, and it's in time for the out! And the Barrie Baycats take the first round of the 2021 IBL postseason playoffs. A 5-3 win in Game 1, a 6-2 win here in Game 2, and the Baycats have to be confident as they get ready for whoever their second round opponent will be, either the Toronto Maple Leafs or the London Majors.
They have set up a lineup that is hitting consistently. They have a pitching set up with Andrew Griner and Juan Benitez, big 1-2 in the rotation. And now they have that bullpen set up they're comfortable with. They're really getting hot at the right time. And they dominated this series. They're celebrating with good reason right now, Ben.
Yeah, a short playoff series, just the best 2 out of 3, but that was all the Baycats needed. A pair of wins, 1 on Thursday night in Welland and 1 here at home on Saturday afternoon to finish it off in front of their hometown fans here at Coates Stadium in Springwater. So the Baycats will play either Toronto or London on the road for Game 1 next week, and the schedule, of course, will be released very soon, I'm sure. As for the Welland Jackfish, an outstanding team, a solid regular season, finishing at the 500 mark, certainly improved in the second half, but just unable to get it done here in this mini 2 games against the Barrie Baycats. And handshakes here as you see a class act, the Jackfish come out to congratulate Barrie on their playoff series
and the
win.
Jackfish, what a season and what a future that franchise has. They have a great batting order and a great pitching core, and they have big things just around the corner, and it's easy to see. Dane Toftland, Matt Hildebrandt in the middle, Dennis Day Banning. There's so many guys you can mention, right? Griffin Keller with the home run today. The Baycats won this series, but the Jackfish will be around in the future once again. Yeah,
a really good mix of young talent and veterans who they'll hope to re-sign for the 2022 season, no question. And as for Barrie, boy, you just want to keep riding this hot streak, don't you? They played well in the final handful of games to close out the regular season, and now just getting hot at the right time. And they're going to have a tough opponent either way in either Toronto or London.
Well, if it's London, then you have to go in with the momentum you've gained over the last couple of games in the regular season, as well as the playoffs so far, and then turn that to London and say, yeah, they've had the rest, but they haven't had the opportunity to build up any of that momentum. And if it's Toronto, it's a lot easier to work yourself into a positive mindset because they've had Toronto's number this year. It's been really, really good for the Baycats to face the Toronto Maple Leafs. Either way, you can look at it with a positive mindset because they've been so good over the last few games.
Well, all eyes will be on that Kitchener-Brantford game, which is about 45 minutes away from getting started. If the Red Sox win, then we know the Baycats will play Toronto. If Kitchener wins, that series will go 3 games, and we'll have to wait for the outcome of that. So we hope you've enjoyed the first round of the IBL playoffs. For Patrick Welburn, I'm Ben Davy, and we'll see you in round 2, game 2, right here on Baycats TV. Thanks for watching, and good night from Coates Stadium in Springwater.